Hello, hello, hello. Says I am live. We will assume it is not lying to me. Never can tell though sometimes. Just a moment here. Do not always, not really used to live yet. It is just a moment here. Seeing behind the curtain. Seeing behind the curtain. I'm trying to figure this out real quick. So that's part of what I was trying to do. Now let's that over there. Autofocus. Okay. Hello, hello, everyone. I think I'm finally set up and ready to go for the most part. Probably should have put my hair up, but don't want any man bun jokes. They are practical, people. They're practical. It's not for fashion. It is for the practicality of the bun. So yeah, hello and welcome to Mega Reacts. We're going to be doing a character ranking of the characters from Babylon 5. Now, you already know I'm terrible with names, so a lot of these side characters, people that showed up one episode, I don't know any of their names really. So cut me some slack. I do know the main cast names, which is a big thing for me. It usually takes me a couple seasons to really know who everyone is. Also, I am on episode 7 or 8 of season 2. So I do know the one big spoiler that Sinclair is not in season 2, or at least not so far. And it kind of sucks, but we'll get into that later. He was and is my favorite character. So season 2 was kind of a shocker, but you'll see that when I post the reaction. It's I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. Sheridan is fine. I'm warming up to him, but he doesn't have the presence of Sinclair. My goodness. But it is what it is. And I think I mentioned this. I did find out why he was not in the show after season 1. And it made it a little bit easier for me to move on. If he would have been fired or gotten rid of for some other reason, I think I'd be pretty bitter right now. But knowing the kind of mental health issues that he had and things of that nature, I get why he chose and was let to leave the show. And it makes it a little easier for me to move on to Sheridan. So that's all I'm really going to say about that. And yes, no spoilers, please. I do have someone monitoring my chat, and they basically make sure it's okay, and then it goes to my Streamlabs, which is what I'm actually reading. So I'm not reading the actual YouTube chat. I'm reading the Streamlabs version. So there is a little bit of protection from spoilers, but also just don't leave them. All right, season 2, episode 8. That's as far as I'm at. I think it's episode 8. So don't tell me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. Though with my memory, I'd probably forget. But that is not an invitation. So, okay, let's get into this character ranking. I'm going to start with a lot of the side characters first. And then we will get on to the main cast. Let's see. All right, good deal. Thanks for filling me in on the side names. I appreciate that. Yep. K001 Daddy, that is what I have heard. I have heard Sheridan gets better as it goes along. He is still trying to find his footing in the show, and it makes sense coming into a show, taking over basically the main role after one season's already been made cannot be a easy thing. You don't want to emulate the old actor. You don't want to be too much like him, but you also, I guess you don't want to be too different. Like, I don't know. I am not an actor. All right, so let's go. So we're going to start here with, we're going to go right after Kosh here and go to the, what is he, a soul eater? I believe he's the first soul eater we met. He arrived on Babylon 5 looking for souls to eat, and in the end, didn't work out too well for him. So he was an interesting character. It really gave us a glimpse onto how weird this Babylon 5 universe is. I mean, he's someone who can eat your soul. Now, did he really eat your soul, or just take your mind, or was it your knowledge? They're kind of ambiguous on that, but I really enjoyed the character. I enjoyed his race, and he was doing things from a noble aspect on his part. He thought it was the noble thing to save knowledge and wisdom of people who died, and he actually was supposed to, was it Dukat? He was supposed to get Dukat's soul, but failed to. I could be wrong on that, but interesting character. Was he the greatest character I've ever seen? Not at all. But as far as the side character go and introducing the side plot, we'll put him right there in B tier. Though not top of the top, but not bad. A B is probably average. All right. Just reading some of these comments here. Yes, Yaten Max Art, probably saying that wrong. That is not a spoiler. It was mentioned to me that Sinclair might pop up in a few future episodes here and there. That's not really a spoiler, because I do know his character's not dead in the universe. He just went to the Minbari homeworld and is living there now as a ambassador or something along those lines. And I did assume, being they didn't completely write him out of the show, he would pop up here and there. So that's perfectly fine. Yes, Mike Finney, he was captain of a ship, and he always thought he would be exploring, you know, the far reaches of the universe, and was really into the aspect of being a captain and finding new and exciting things. And now he's on kind of a stationary point in space where the adventure has to come to him versus him going out to the adventure. Definitely a big change. All right, what are the tiers? So S is best of the best of the best. S is top tier. S is you are the man. All right. Spoiler alert, Sinclair's going to S tier. All right, Sinclair's going to S tier. So S is top of the top. A is above average, great character. Like, this is a good character. A character is a good character, but he's not S tier. S tier is just for the best of the best of the best. B is going to be basically average, and it's kind of just your average character. They're not bad, they're not amazing, but they fit in well in the show, and you would like to see them again if they didn't die like this guy did. C is below average. They did their part in the show, but if you never hear of them again, you really wouldn't mind, because whatever. And D tier is just trash characters. Honestly, just looking at the characters I have brought up here, I don't know if anyone's gonna make that low of a level. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to really think about it though. But yeah, so that's kind of how the tiers work out. All right, what's his failure with Dukat? That's what I thought. Yeah, the Soul Hunter did have a great voice. He always has a great voice. I've seen him in many things. I don't know the actor's name, but you remember the voice. No matter how much makeup you put on this dude, that voice, you know the voice. Oh yes, Violent Silence. Yes, the taking of souls versus the Minbari's belief of where their souls go. That definitely leads to a good bit of conflict and really explains a lot. So yes, very, very good point. Don't want to talk too much on that because I'm hoping we get more insight into the Minbaris and their souls and humans. And I think if we talk too much about that, I might invite unintentional spoilers. So gonna hold off on that because I really want to see how that plays out. Hopefully they do elaborate on that. All right, so they are not ranked down here yet. Who said that? Eighth. I lost my spot. Oh, Alan. So yeah, they're just put on here. Now I did try to group all of the people who kind of work for Babylon 5 versus the ambassadors. So I kind of got them separated that way, but this is not their ranking at the end. All right, Violent Silence. I don't know those names because like I said, I'm terrible with names. I do not have everyone on here. I did miss some people. I just brought up the people I could think of when I was trying to pull up. And once again, when you're doing reactions, you don't want to search the internet too hard because spoilers are everywhere. So I could have typed in, Babylon 5 character list and things like that, but I was worried it would bring up characters I haven't met or expose something that might happen. So these are all the characters that I could just kind of think of the episodes and the ones that came to mind. So that's why this is what I have. I know I probably missed some people. Damon Bryant, there's been quite a few Star Trek and B5 crossover characters. Can't name them all off the top of my head. We have, I should have put him on here. We had the rabbi who was from Earth. He was Worf's father. We have Jakar, who was a Romulan. We had the Psycorps dude, Herbert West. That's a character name, not his name. Can't remember his name right now. So bad with names, everybody. I partied way too hard in my youth, and I think that has long-term effects on the memory. So, yeah, but yeah, there's been quite a few Star Trek characters that have crossed over. All right, let me get back into ranking some of these. So, this man here is a solid B. Let's go to his soul collector friend, brother, not his ally, because he came to shut him down, because Poncho here went rogue and was just doing what he had to do. So it was just interesting seeing another of his kind, one who wasn't quite as crazy, but at the end of the day, he didn't really bring much to the show. So he's a solid C. I mean, I would like to see his character again, or someone from his, oh, just hit my mic, might have been loud, or someone from his race. But if I never see him again, I really don't care. So that's fine. That's fine. All right, Kodath, that is Jakar's assistant, right? That was who that was. Let me know on that one. Once again, terrible with names. Oh yes, all right, yes. So you did mention those. All right, so one of the first things I noticed. Hold on. Of course, my neighbor decides to cut their grass when I'm doing a live. Hopefully, it's not that loud. I'm sorry, everybody. Yes, I noticed instantly in season 2 that whoever was playing his assistant was a different actress. I noticed instantly, and I did not like it. I found the other actress to be better, honestly, and found her quite attractive, even in the makeup. I believe in one of my unedited reactions on Patreon, I mentioned how I wanted to see her pouch. So take that however you want. Reviewer, I'm cool. Well, thank you. I'm not called cool very often. Yeah, Mike Finney. I'm a few episodes ahead. Now, if you want to get all of my unedited reactions, it is a $5 tier. I do have a $1 tier though, and you get to vote in polls, and you do get access to some reactions. I call it dealer's choice. Every so often, when I'm posting reactions, I will add a unedited reaction to the $1 tier. Just a little thank you. Londo's assistant, I have on here, don't I? I thought I did. I thought I had him on here. All right, well, I guess I missed him. I thought he was here. Oh well, I'll tell you what I think about him. I'll go ahead and tell you what I think about Londo's assistant. He's a C. He's a C. He's kind of annoying. He does his job. He's fine. I do like the episode where he brought the couple to the space station to try to help them out, even though he did lie to get them there and lied to them the whole time, kind of. But I did like that episode. But overall, he's fine, but not really one of my favorite characters. He's kind of annoying, which I think is how he is written. So it is what it is. All right, can I hear Lawnmower? Fantastic, because I can. Yeah, Londo's assistance is missing. I'm sorry. But I did just say what I felt about him. So, you know. Can't believe I forgot him. I had so many people with peacock hair. I thought I had them. I was wrong. All right, so we got our two soul hunters, I believe. Then we have my lady here, the Death Walker. Now this was one of my favorite characters, and I don't mean like she was a good person or anything. No, she was terrible. She was terrible, but she had the presence of someone who was truly arrogant and powerful and did not fear death and knew they had something that would protect them, even though they've done so much evil in the world. You know, the arrogance of this character was perfect for the type of character she was portraying. She is also the actress who was in Superman 2. She played the female Kryptonian. Don't know her name, but absolutely loved this character. The end too, when she walked out in her full military garb, proud. She didn't give a shit, and saying her legacy would live because in order to live forever, you must kill, and that will be her legacy, one of death and destruction. Even in giving life, her legacy will be death. Fantastic, which puts her solid A tier. Solid A tier. I would have liked to have seen her come back and do multiple episodes. Maybe she didn't get blown up by our weird friends in the armor. Don't know what they are. I'm still questioning that. But if she'd went to like prison maybe, and maybe we needed her help, we brought her back, but she found a way to rig something up and get out, or I don't know how they could have done it. But it was a great character, and maybe it's only so great because she actually died, and it made the whole episode just that much better. I don't know, but solid A tier. All right, so Verb will earn my admiration. I hope so. Once again, I'm only like 7-8 episodes into season 2, so a lot can happen. Reviewer, if you haven't reviewed the movie Mandy, I'm a huge fan of Mandy. If you don't notice, I have the Mandy axe on my wall, and I have Cheddar Goblin from Mandy also right there. Love Mandy. One of my favorite movies ever made. Nick Cage is great in it, but it's more the director who did it. Can't pronounce his name. It's pretty weird, but it's visually stunning. The music is stunning. Everything about it just speaks to my soul. So good. Yes, Sarah Douglas, that is her name. Yes, we are not ready for immortality. We are mere biological bags of chaos in this universe. We don't need to live forever. 100%. All right, so we got our Deathwalker here. Next, we have the Boxer, the man who was, they were trying to force him to take a fall, I think, and he didn't want to do it, so he was basically blacklisted in the Earth boxing realm. So what does he do? He comes to Babylon 5 to fight some aliens, to win back his honor, to show that humans deserve a spot in the Kutai or Mutai or whatever it was called. It was a great episode. It reminded me of the movie Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know, maybe Bloodsport, one of those, but it definitely had that vibe of this kind of fallen fighter who has his honor and goes to a different land to fight in one of their tournaments, and in doing so earns the respect of those people and brings honor back to himself. Very, very good. Would I like to see him again, though? No, I think we closed out his story pretty good. We'll go with B tier. So he's average. He was an average character. I do like the side we got to see of Garibaldi whenever he was there, because it got to kind of show a little more of Garibaldi's history and other places and kind of how he handles things. So that was good. That was good. TKO, worst episode of Babylon 5. I heard a lot of people did not like that episode. It wasn't a great episode. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to watch this episode 5 times. But for what it was, I liked it. I liked seeing mainly the alien fighting ring, and to see this kind of fighting culture and that different aliens are kind of tied to. And it showed kind of how similar we really are to the aliens. Like, that's something we would have on Earth. It's something we do have on planet Earth. So I don't know, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Also, for those of you who don't know, I do have a speech impediment and I'm doing live, so I might stutter a bit. So if it happens, just know you're getting to see behind the curtain. I usually edit most of those out. we'll see if I can keep it together. All right, next we have this Minbari dude. I don't remember his name. I got a little cheat sheet here. Let's see if he's on here. Narun. He was a good character. So he is from the fighting class of the Minbari, which is what I want to know more about, the Minbari fighting culture, because I think they're going to be pretty badass. I think they're going to be like Klingon level fighters. I think they're going to revel or reveal. I don't know the word. You know what I mean, though. They're just going to get encompassed in the fighting culture and just go all out and be great warriors who love the battle. And it's probably why they were such a formidable opponent to the Earth Alliance during the war, because they're probably pretty badass. Warrior cast, yes. So Narun came to Babylon 5 with the dead body of his mentor, his superior of his clan, and the body goes missing. And they hint that it could have been eaten by the carrion eaters in the lower levels, which would have been grotesque and kind of awesome, but that wasn't the case. It turns out our Centauri lady, what's her name? Delene actually cremated the body because she knew him, and that's what he wanted. He didn't want to be carried around to multiple places, shown off, trying to raise, people to go to war and get people angry. That's not his path. He was a holy man, a good man who went to war because it was his duty, not because he liked war. So it was really good, though. But he was a good character. He's one I would definitely want to see come back. I think they set it up to where he will come back. So you're going to A tier, buddy, because I like you. I want to see more of you. You were well acted. And you and, this makes me miss Sinclair even more. He and Sinclair had a great moment at the end. Sinclair showing respect to his fallen higher up in his clan. You know, that he was a great warrior and we met on the battlefield, and he was, you know, he was just great, which is a great honor for a enemy to say how much respect they have for him. So that was great, and I think he and Sinclair could have had more great moments, but that's not going to happen now. But I still want to see his character come back. So Naroon has a great arc. All right, good. That means he will come back. That's fantastic. Minor spoiler, but not really. I thought he would come back. It's fine. There are some people who are like crazy about spoilers like that. Like even the littlest thing doesn't really bother me. Because also, once again, I will forget in no time. But yeah, I did assume he would come back. Mike Finley. Which episode was Code of Honor? I know the title, but I can't think of which episode that was. All right, Move Along Home is terrible. That is the worst episode of DS9 I've ever seen. It doesn't even have any redeeming qualities, really. It's horrible. Harp. Alan, I do like most of these characters. Like I said, I don't think any of these characters on my list is going to be D tier, which is just awful characters I just hate and they shouldn't even have been there. I don't think any character is really going to fall to that level. So, all right. Janeway Lizards. I have watched none of Star Trek Voyager. Voyager and Enterprise and the original series, I've seen none of. I was always a TNG DS9 guy, mainly DS9. I love Deep Space Nine, it's my favorite. But I grew up on TNG and then DS9 came out. So those are my two shows. That's just the age I was at. That's what was on TV. That's what I watched whenever it came on. Even reruns, like that era of Star Trek is my jam. Voyager came out a little bit later. I think came out when DS9 was a few seasons in, and I don't know why I didn't really get into it. I think I was a little bit older at the time. I had to get a job, and just wasn't as easy to watch. I had to make do with what I had, and DS9 took the cake. Oh no, K001 Daddy. It's fine. Like I said, it's so minor it doesn't even matter. I thought he would come back. You know, they set him up in such a good way he would come back, because he is almost like a antagonist to Delene, and he's trying to get the Membar to go back to the warrior way, and I think he's gonna push that, and that might lead to some conflict later. It just seemed like a logical step for the show to take, so it's perfectly fine. Oh yes, episode 3 could have, yes, the yeah, that is deemed one of the worst episodes. Thinking back, I don't really remember that episode much. I don't think I ever rewatched it, so that just tells you how bad it was. Because I rewatched most episodes of TNG, and I don't think I ever rewatched that episode. All right, so Alan, there are many quotes that stuck out, but once again, my memory is not what it used to be. The one that comes to mind, and I don't know the exact quote, but it's when Londo talking about he can't dance, his shoes are too tight. You know, that quote really, and I know I probably butchered the actual quote, but that quote really stood out to me. Um, I mean, it hits home, I think, with a lot of people, because as you grow older, you get more responsibilities, and life just, life is like a constant wave, and you are the shore, and it just wears you down. And sometimes you just can't dance, man. Your shoes are too tight. It's just the way it goes. Ah, Cool daddy. That makes perfect sense, my man. I'm not the brightest person sometimes. Yeah, K00. Yeah, cool daddy. Makes perfect sense. Mike Finney. That is a great one too. The avalanche has started. It is too late for the pebbles to vote. Fantastic quote also. All right, let's get on to this. The last one of these I did was for Vampire Diaries, and it took like 2 hours because I talk a lot, especially when I have people to talk to. Honestly, I'm so much better when I have someone to talk to when doing anything like this. Sadly, I can't do my videos with anyone because I don't know anyone who can do them with me. Or just times don't match up. I usually film in the middle of the night. So, but as you can tell, I get quite chatty when there's people to actually converse with. Yep, Londo Mollari, season 1. That was one of the greatest quotes. Yes, Jakar's speech about we are, because there are aliens that have been, they're creatures in this universe that have been around, for hundreds of thousands of years, and we are merely occupying the same space as these great things that pay no mind to us because we are but insects. That was a great quote too. All right, so then we go to this man here. He was in some time travel movie I watched as a kid, I believe. I can't remember anything about the movie other than they had a cool time travel machine, and he might have played the time traveler or Jack the Ripper. Maybe? I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that. But he was a holy man looking for the Holy Grail, and he believed it was not on Earth, but might be on another planet in space. The Minbari took a great liking to him because he was a spiritual man. And then when you find out kind of what the Minbari think, it does make sense. They might think he might be a reincarnated version of some great Minbari holy man. I mean, you really don't know. But an interesting character. Came to Babylon 5 to talk to all the ambassadors to try to find the Holy Grail. He ended up taking on a apprentice, kind of, who is not on this list. I forgot him too. But he took on this guy under his wing. But in the end, he ended up dying, and he passed his mantle to this new apprentice to keep the quest going. And he was a good character. Not amazing, so we'll go B tier. I think B tier is going to have a lot of characters. I don't know. Time Bandits, is that what I'm thinking of? He was the evil guy in Time Bandits, right? They say God works in mysterious ways. Maybe so. But he's a con man compared to the Vorlon. Sounds about right. Oh, look who's next. What is this guy's name? I know his name. Morden. A very shadowy figure. Pun intended. So this man shows up, starts asking everyone what they want. Very Wishmaster-like. Which is why Wishmaster is in some of my thumbnails, because he's the Wishmaster to me. What do you want? And of course, if he gives it to you, what is the catch? And he's giving things to Londo. Him and Londo are developing quite a little relationship here, but he is a pawn of the shadow, the darkness, the evil, whatever it really is. He does their bidding for some greater reason. Is it to sow chaos, turmoil, to weaken the other races so they can more easily be taken? I don't know what the end game is other than the end of life, because that's what the darkness wants, right? I mean, darkness wants to eliminate light, death wants to eliminate life. I don't know, but he is very interesting character. A character that anytime he shows up, it's going to be a good episode. You're like, oh, here we go. Morden is here, and because of that, you're A tier, my man. You are a great character. One I'm happy to see anytime you show up, because I know things are not going to go well for somebody. All right. Yes, Zarthos is on the list. He is completely. All right, so I know him as Chekhov, but Bester is his name in this show. He is a high up member of Psycorps. I used to say Psycorps, but the PS is silent. I finally learned that. I do read comments when they are given, and I do try to adjust what I say to make more sense. So Psycorps, high up member of Psycorps. He showed up hunting, I'll move this guy over, hunting this guy here who was given a drug cocktail and then became pure mind and energy and whatever, kind of crazy. But he was looking for that guy, and he came in just waving his big D around. Like, I am the man. I'll do what I want. I got powers. Don't mess with me. And Sinclair messed with him. Sinclair didn't care, which might have came back to bite Sinclair in the tail later on in future episodes, possibly. But he was a great character. I'm also kind of biased because he's played by Chekhov, and I do know the TOS cast from the movies. I've never seen the show, but I've seen all of the Star Trek movies, so I know him from there. When he got that bug put in his ear in Wrath of Khan, it still freaks me out. Good character though, one I want to see more of, and that is a big criteria for making it to the A tier. How I viewed you when you appeared on the episode. Do I want to see you come back? And he's the one I definitely want to see come back. Well, okay, let's see. Morden or Bester? I only know both of them. Well, from what I've seen so far, Morden is going to be the worst of these two. But once again, I've only seen Bester in one episode so far, so it's kind of hard to really. All right, Alan, I'm glad I'm not the only one who said corpse. Introduce him in the first, use him in the third. Nice. Bester is S tier. Bester might be S tier, but once again, this is my season 1 character rankings and just haven't seen enough of him yet to really put him in S tier, you know. So cool, Daddy, you might be right, but we will see. So Bester is future S tier? Yeah, probably so. All right. Yes, I will be doing a ranking for every season of Babylon 5 just because honestly I enjoy it, and I also enjoy being able to kind of talk with people about the show. I have no one who watches this show in my real life, like no one. I have no one to talk to about it. And talking to people who are watching it with me is really fun, and I enjoy it quite a bit. So thank you all for being here, by the way. And while you're here, hit the like button. Hit the like button. I don't know how many likes I have, but go ahead and hit the like button if you haven't. So, all right. So then we go to Mr. Mind Energy Dude. I guess, you ever see the movie Powder? I'll call him Powder because I don't know. Is he on my cheat sheet? He is not on my cheat sheet. So I'll call him Powder until someone tells me his real name. But so he works for Psycorps. He is friends with our resident Psycorps lady. They were more than friends. And he shows up. Everyone's looking for him. Psycorps wants him back because apparently he's been given a super dose of cocktails and he's having all these mental quakes and almost rips the space station apart. I mean, super powerful dude. He is becoming pure energy and thought. He is the next evolution of man, maybe. Ironheart. Yes, so Powder is Ironheart. We'll call him Ironheart now. So Ironheart, that's a great last name too. That's powerful. I'm Ironheart. That's a good name. So he shows up and he's trying to ascend to a new level. And it was an interesting character. He tells Sinclair, I'll see you in 1,000 years. So there's something going on there. I don't know much about it, but it's going to be good. And then at the end, he turns into this new form of human, I guess. Or is it Though, is he really human at that point? I would say not. I would say not. But he also touches Talia. I think Talia is our resident Psychor lady, and gives her the power of telekinesis, which is very, very rare. So that's kind of cool, though I've yet to see her use it so far. She was, what episode? There's some episode, I think I just posted it recently, where she was fighting someone. Or maybe it was season 2. I don't remember the episode. But she was like pinned up, or like, use your psychic powers, push this person back. She didn't do it. So, you know. But overall, interesting character. But, you know, he's B tier, because I really don't care anymore. He's ascended, he's gone, I'm fine with that. If I never hear from him again, it would be great. If I do hear from him, it would also be great. I really don't care. But, you know, that's just how I feel. All right. Babylon 5 fans are a great community, I must say. I've had nothing but positivity, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's really nice to come into a show where people are willing to talk and cut you some slack with not knowing names and not really knowing the world. You know, I'm trying to get into it. And I am filming this in my garage, by the way, in Florida, and I got my AC off, so it's not going to be too loud. And it's warm, so if you see me sweating, no, this is me going through punishment for all of you. All right? For all of you. Game of Thrones in space? Possibly. I've yet to see a red wedding, though, but it doesn't mean it's not coming. Yeah, I heard there's a remake coming out. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. And I'm only a season and a half in. And the thought of a remake in today's climate, I don't know how good it's going to be. And this is going by the remakes or the rebrandings, the repopulation of Star Trek, the new shows. I'm not a fan. Star Wars, new shows. I'm not a fan. That's why I found Babylon 5, actually. I was so turned off of sci-fi that was coming out in today's world that I had to go back to the 90s to find a sci-fi show I had not seen. Because I know it's going to be story and characters first. Not, I don't know, not just super flashy, look how cool this is, and boo, 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 space, lightsaber, doo, doo, doo. You know, which that is all fine. I love all that, but it's got to be story and characters first. Focus on that, and then add all the bells and whistles, and, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just not the same. So a remake of Babylon 5, I'm skeptical it can be done to match what they've already done. But what do I know? Yeah, Gallon, it's hot, right? I think I'll be all right. I'll be all right. It's only 89 degrees right now in the garage. I can handle that. It's when it gets to the high 90s, hundreds that I actually melt. Mike, I hope you're right. I hope he'll do things right or walk away, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yonton Max Art, I did not much care for Obi-Wan at all. I have a lot of friends who absolutely love it, but I'm so turned off of Star Wars right now with all the new movies and everything. Like, they burned me hard, and I'm just salty. And I will admit, I'm just salty. I'm salty about the whole damn thing. So I don't even give it a chance, probably. But you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I have ran Star Wars tabletop role-playing games that have been better than anything Disney has made with the brand. Better than anything they've done. So I'll just live in my own little mind of how awesome it could have been. All right, next we have Praying Mantis dude. Don't know his name, don't care what his name is. I love this guy. Love this guy. He's a bit player. Well, he's not really a bit player. He's a big criminal down on the lower levels, because anytime someone needs something, they tend to went to him. But as far as the show goes, he's kind of a bit side NPC character. But I love him because he's a giant praying mantis, and I think it's cool. I just think it's cool, and that might be a dumb reason to rank him as high as I'm going to. But you know what? It's my ranking, and that's all that matters. He also has a sister who was in both of the Vampire Slayer. I know they're the same, but I'm going to say it was his sister because she was trying to have sex with Xander and eat his head. But I love this guy. He's yet to show up in season 2. I hope he makes an appearance. Let me know if he makes an appearance. If it's a spoiler, I don't care. Just let me know Mantis guy shows back up. But just because I'm obsessed with a space station with a Mantis man, he's going to A tier. Argue below. I don't care. Negrath. I love Negrath. Yes, very expensive. It doesn't like a rapper's name. Negrath is a G. He is a G. Mandalorian, I liked season 1. I did not like season 2. Yes, Shandath, probably saying that wrong. I agree with you. Maybe if I watched Obi-Wan as its own thing, I would have liked it. But when you try to connect it to canon or to the movies we've seen, it makes no sense at all. Which makes me think they're going to reboot the original trilogy. They're going to reboot the whole thing so it makes sense with the worlds they're creating. That's what I think is going to happen. But we're not here to talk about Star Wars, so I'm just going to drop it there. Mainly because I'm fed up. Fed up with it. All right. All right. After that, we get to... Do I have her on my cheat sheet? I don't think so. I should have, though. All right. This is Sinclair's fiance. Did they get married, and did she go to the Minbari homeworld with him? I don't think so. She loved being a captain of her own freighter, going out and surveying things. I don't think she's the type of woman who would want to be pinned down to living on an alien homeworld without adventure. Now, maybe they got married and she's doing her own thing and she comes back every so often. I could see that. But I really liked her. I liked the way she showed Sinclair was kind of a pimp. You know, he got this super hot chick, and when he was with her, he had some moves. He was kind of smooth until he asked her to marry him. Like, so do you want to get married? Do you want to marry me? Okay, let's get married. But yeah, she's a good character. She is her own character, which is good. A lot of times these kind of love interest characters, you really don't see much of them in their real like life and what they do. But with her, you were introduced to her. You kind of got a history of, what's her name? Does anyone got her name? I hate just calling her because I really do like her character. But you know, she's a captain. She's kind of a badass. She ventures out and does like survey rights for different minerals. Catherine, yes, Catherine Sakaya. I'm bad with names. We'll just call her Catherine. Catherine was great. You know, she would venture out, do things. She was making deals with people, getting paid. You know, like she seemed like an honest badass, like kind of a Ripley-esque character, kind of this space blue collar captain who's just out there making money for themselves and venturing through this crazy universe and handling her business. I would love to see her come back. But without Sinclair, I don't know if she would. But you know what? Are you B or A? Are you B or A, Catherine? You're definitely at least a good character, but are you very good? She's A tier. She's A tier. I'd love to see her come back. Mooncalf, you are right though. Jakar did save her ass, and she was kind of rude to him, and he didn't have to save her. you know what? You're going down to B tier. That's what you get. Jakar saved your ass and you want to be mean. That's 100% right. All right. Who do we have next? Lanier, the assistant to Delene, who helps her go through her transformation, which is weird. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm still not sure what the hell's going on there. He's a good character. He loves motorcycles. He likes going to see the dancers and playing poker. He also cannot drink alcohol or his race becomes psychotic, which makes him want to see one of them get drunk and just kill a lot of people. Maybe that's what the warriors do before combat. They take a shot of some Jameson and then just go buck ass wild on the battlefield. Yeah, Mooncalf, you did snitch on her, but you're right. Appalachian? No, sir. I'm from Florida. I'm from Florida. North Florida, so close to the Alabama area, but I'm in Florida, probably about an hour from the Alabama line. You know, and usually I don't even think I have an accent, but then I hear myself or people mention it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I do. I got a bit of an accent. Yes, violent silence. You're 100% right. She is every much as formidable as Ivanova, but does not come off nearly as harsh. But I will say in season 2 so far, they've softened her edge up. She's not quite as hard as she was in season 1, which I kind of like her being hard, you know, just being this kind of tough Russian, you know, like she was forged in the frozen tundra of, you know, of the great deep Russian north. But Alan, that is hilarious. I might need to come to Wales. Could have a good time. All right. Let's get back to Lanier. He's a great character. He's really starting to grow. The more he interacts with other characters, the more I like him. But honestly, he's not quite to A tier yet, so he'll go with B tier. Well, I don't know. When I look at the other people in B tier, he's better than they are. Maybe a lot of people's going to A tier this, because yeah, he's better than any of these 5 people. But yeah, he's along these lines. Yes, 100%. All right, so I'm in Orlando. Hey, cool daddy, rock on. I haven't been to Orlando in about a year. Most of my trips have been out west recently. Okay, then we go down to a Centauri dude. Don't remember his name. A friend of Delene. He was a great, a poet or philosopher of the Minbari homeworld, a great teacher. And he came to say goodbye to his friend before he went out to the stars, which is what the Minbari do, I guess, when they get old and tired of the world. They just venture out into the unknown to spread the knowledge of their people. But instead, he ended up becoming the custodian of a powerful planet and the technology it holds, which, you know, kind of a shitty way to end out your retirement, but he wants to be of service. That is his calling. So I guess he has found his place in the universe. Good for you, my man. But overall, you're B tier, because I'm fine if you're just stuck on that planet until the final episode of the final show. And then you can say, all right, you have proven yourself, you can have the technology. Or maybe they'll get the technology to fight the darkness. Maybe they'll get it a little earlier than the end of the show. I don't know where it's going to go with that. But if I never see him until that moment, it's fine. I don't really care. He was a good character for the episode, though. Ivanova and Kira. Yeah, I could definitely see the comparison there. Though once again, I'm only a season and a half in to Babylon 5. So right now, Kira Nerys is probably my favorite female sci-fi character. across TV and movies. Love her. So I can't say if she's on that level. Ivanova, that is, but once again, I'm pretty short. Well, I'm pretty short. I'm not that short. I am fairly new to the Babylon 5 universe, so I have a lot more episodes to go. By the end of it, when I do my final character ranking for the final season, I will compare Ivanova to Kira and see where they stack up with each other. Yeah, I'm more on the Gulf Coast of Florida, near Pensacola, Panama City, Mexico Beach, kind of along that strip. Draw. Minbari. Minbari. I'll say it wrong. Just. Oh, did I say Centauri for the Minbari? Well, I blame that on the writer of the show. Why do you make those races names so similar? All right, I can barely talk as it is. So Centauri, Minbari, it messes with my head. Yes, the Centauri with the big hair. Like peacocks, I think I've said in other episodes. All right, that takes us on to the doctor lady who had the alien tech. Don't know her name. We'll call her Lost in Space. So she is a disgraced doctor who has lost her medical license because she was trying too hard, taking drugs to keep working, killed someone, lost her license, lost her perspective on life, and didn't really want to live, and was just a sad person because her calling was gone until she found some alien tech that would take a little bit of your life force and heal people, or it could take all of someone else's life force and heal you completely. And she was giving it away for free or for donations. What a sweet, sweet grandma. She was a good character. I liked her conflict with the doctor. What's his name? Hold on. Stephen Franklin. She had a good little conflict with Dr. Laura Rosen. Yes, her Dr. Rosen and her conflict with Dr. Franklin, I really liked. He came in completely skeptical of what she was doing, just another con man. But he quickly learned, like, she is healing people. I mean, using crazy alien tech. But it was a fun episode, and it ended just how I thought it would. She would take all the life force from the crazy psychotic murderer and heal herself of her terminal illness. I did not see her giving or being forced to give the tech to Dr. Franklin, which he then later used for Garibaldi. Thank goodness, because I could not have taken losing both Sinclair and Garibaldi. That would have sucked. But do I care if she ever comes back on the show? Not really. I think they closed her story off quite well. She'll be B tier. All right, so they can go between different caste system and Minbari society. Very cool. Which makes sense because Lanier here is not of the warrior caste, but we saw he can throw down. We saw he's got some moves, so it would not be that big of a jump for him to switch castes if that ends up happening. You threaten my daughter. Yeah, you threaten us. You take life. Now you get it. All right, let's go to our first Centauri we have judged. This dude here was working with some thieves to try to get the Great Eye, which was a sign of Centauri power and influence. It belonged to his family at one point, but even though it was found, it was going to the Emperor. He thought he could get it, and with it, he could get people to follow him and retake his family's place as leader of the Centauri Empire. But in the end, he was betrayed by the same people he was working with, and they were just going to hold him for ransom and sell the eye. But in the end, the Shadow showed up and blew the ship up and got the eye back and gave it to Londo, and Londo was able to return it to the Empire and get some larger growing hair for himself because it really upped him in the rankings. Lord Kiro, is that his name? Well, overall though, Lord Kiro, you served your purpose in the show, but you're C tier, dude. I really don't care. You could have been replaced by any character. It would have been fine. You did your part. You weren't a terrible character, so you're not D-list, but you know, it is what it is. It was the first time we saw the Shadows. Yes, true. The Shadows are cool. He was not. So we'll throw him down there. All right, I'm going to do these next two kind of together. So this is the Centauri couple that ran away because they wanted to get married to each other. But, you know, she was promised to someone else and he was poor and had no status really in the society. And they came there and they were the ones who stirred up all the emotions in Londo, which by the end of the episode, he ended up helping them out because love Londo, love. He wanted them to dance. He did not want them to become like him with 3 wives. He loved none of them and he was miserable. He was miserable. Londo was miserable, and in this couple, he saw the chance for happiness. And he wanted to help that happiness and that love grow. So he did what he could. He sent the guy to join some other family, become a apprentice or steward or something. And whenever he was taught the ways of the noble Centauri, the girl's parents would be happy for her to marry him. And it would all work out in the end. Kieran Marari and Arya Tensis. My shoes are too tight. I've forgotten how to dance. Exactly. Best quote of the show, in my opinion, mainly because I am a disillusioned middle-aged man who has forgotten how to dance himself. Well, I haven't forgotten how to dance. I remember the memory of the. But my shoes are too tight. But interesting characters. I love what they did for Londo's character. They gave him some great moments, but the characters themselves, C tier, they were just a tool for great Lando moments. We also got to see the in that episode they showed up in the first kind of signs of how crazy the terrorist organization is. The pro-humanists, the Arthas, whatever they're called. Because he ended up getting stabbed, I believe. And we also had a Minbari get branded that episode, which reminded me of an episode of Deep Space Nine with Quark, which once again kind of shows how there was definitely some overlapping things between the two shows. Early on, I do think that once both the shows kind of got bigger, the similarities really dropped off, or at least that's what I have heard. But definitely interesting. All right, which, speaking of love, we have this Centauri here. Once again, don't know her name. She was Londo's girl. Like, Londo loved her, gave her, you know, this priceless piece of jewelry and was willing to be seen in public with her, even though she wasn't his wife. And she brought out the passion in him. I think she helped him untighten his shoes, so to speak. And he was willing to go the distance for her. Turns out she was just being used by some guy trying to get information from Londo. But in that deception, she found the great man he was. And I do believe she truly cared for him. But in the end, she had to go her own way. She was a good character, though. Adari Tyree. Thank you all for these names, by the way, because, you know, like I said before, names are not my friend. I am so bad with names. I don't even remember names of people I know in real life. Like, it's the worst. It's the worst. But yes, but she was it was great. So Oh yes, they were both in Lost in Space. That is correct, Jacobs. That is correct. But I did like her character, but once again, would I want to see her come back? I think I would. So she goes to B tier merely because she was well acted. I like the character concept. I liked her relationship with Londo, and I would love to see her come back. And that is really one of the big things that's going to separate C tier and B tier. Is do I want to see these characters again, or characters like them again? And you know, for all of these, it is a yes. I mean, all these up here, I definitely want to see again, and they're just awesome. But well, I don't know. It's C tier. Is B tier really what people I want to see? Then now I'm questioning my whole tier as I look at all the characters on here. It's like, is she really equal to these people? Adira. All right, yeah. Thank you, Cool Daddy. She might. No, she's not A tier. She's not A tier. She's B tier. She's B tier. All right, that brings us to Jeffrey Combs' character, which sadly I heard he never shows back up. I can't remember his name either, of course. Loved him though. He showed us that Psycor is not filled with just corrupt assholes. Because most people we've seen from Psycor have been corrupt assholes who completely want to just use their power to get any information they want. They could care less about protecting people's rights. They think they are better than everyone. They can do whatever they want. He showed us though that there are some patriots who join Psycor because they have to. He wanted to be a pilot, but he had powers, so he couldn't be, which makes no sense. You figure a semi-psychic pilot would actually be really, really good. But I guess in space, you're so far away from people, and they really use their powers on the other pilots. Mr. Gray. Yeah, I think you're right, Alan. I think that's kind of how they went. Yeah, that's about how it works. But so Mr. Gray was a good character. He had some great moments with Ivanova, even though shouldn't have talked about her mom, dude. She's touchy about the mom subject, and you were pushing. You're lucky she ain't punch you in the face. He is a character I would have loved to have seen come back. I know he doesn't come back, but I'm gonna act like I don't know that and put him in A tier because I would love for his story to continue. I would have loved him to come back to Babylon 5. Maybe when Psycor goes completely rogue, which I know they are, just because that's how Psycor is. There's already talk of Psycor is running the government and running this and that. So I have no doubt Psycor is involved in everything. Like they are behind the scenes manipulating everything going on the Earth side. And it would have been awesome if he came back to help fight that, you know. But he's going to A tier, man. And it could be biased because I just love Jeffrey Combs. I love him as an actor. I'm actually a friend of mine is running a Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. It is a tabletop game. You roll dice and roleplay. And I'm playing a character called Jeffrey Combs. You know, I based him off of the character in Reanimator. But I could have named him Herbert West, but I named him Jeffrey Combs because I just thought it was funny. So, yes, he is a Star Trek MVP. He's played so many characters. Yeah, Cask. Never talk about Ivanova's mom. It's a touchy subject. All right, she'll punch you in the face. She don't play around when it comes to that. So, yeah. So he goes to A tier. I'd love for him to come back. All right, and let's get to this general. I don't know if he was a general or not. He had the scar on his face. He was from. I know him from Memoirs of the Invisible Man with Chevy Chase, directed by. What's his name? He did The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China. How do I not remember his name? Not James Cameron. Someone tell me this dude's name. I can't remember. This is gonna drive me crazy. Hold on, I got my phone. That's John Carpenter. John Carpenter. JC. That's why I thought James Cameron. I was thinking JC. Yeah, so John Carpenter directed Memoir of the Invisible Man. He was in that. He played one of the friends. But the voice, he had such a unique and familiar voice. Ari Benzant. So he thought he should have been the leader of Babylon 5. He should have been given this command. He talks a big talk, but all he did, I don't believe he did much of anything, though. He seemed like someone who's completely corrupt and got where he has gotten because of who he knows, not because of what he's done. And he was working with Bester, no doubt, from Psychor to try to get Sinclair out because Sinclair rubbed them the wrong way. But in the end, it's proven he's just an asshole. But he was a good character. He might have been an asshole, but he was a good character. One I never want to see again, but we'll throw him to B tier because, he was a good character. I liked what he brought to that episode. I liked how well he played the character who was portraying, which was a bitter, small, arrogant, vengeful man who believed he was wrong, and anything he did to right that wrong was justified. And he would have done whatever he could to get what he thought was his. Played that very, very well. I'm glad he got his, though. Colonel Payne. 9 canon books and comics. Oh, don't tell me that. I'm going to have to read books now. It never ends. I love to hate characters too. It's kind of fun. All right, we got one character to go before we get to the main cast. Zarthos? I think it's something like that. So Zarthos. He reminded me of the Bat Rider from the Never Ending Story. To me, he just looks like that character. I even added it in my reaction, I think, a little clip. When I added the clip, I could say, all right, they don't look exactly alike, but I got that concept. Zarthos from the future came here to secure Babylon 5 or Babylon 4 for the one in the future, the one who helps us fight the darkness. Zarthos ready to die here. Zarthos strong. No one listens to Zarthos. He was a great character. He was fun. He was unique. He brought many mysteries to the show and some good humor. What I would love to see Zarthos carry on. I would love to see him come back, and he very well could, because if he's from the future or the past, or is the future, the past, and the present really all happening at the same time? He's just from a different place in time. I don't know. Time is weird in sci-fi shows. You never know how they're going to play it. But the fact that he is from some other point of time means even though he might have died, which I'm not sure if he died or not, I think the one Sinclair actually saved him at the end of that episode, but it's not really spelled out for you, so it could have gone either way. But I do think there's a good chance he might show back up, and I'm all for that. So Zarthos, my man. You go to A tier, my man, because you're good. I'd love to see you again. You're not S tier, though. Not S tier. No one's been S tier yet. No one's been D tier yet. This is... wow. No one in D tier. That just shows how good this show is, though. Even the characters that are forgettable, not really overly memorable, but they all bring something to the episode to where you know why they're there, you like them in their part, and even though you could care less if they ever show back up, or that they themselves didn't overly matter, what they added to the show and brought to the other characters is so good and so well played and written and acted that they're not trash. Because I'll tell you, the other one of these I did was the Vampire Diaries, and there's some trash characters. Characters I just don't like. I don't want to see ever again. They're unlikable. They're annoying. They serve no purpose. You wish you never met them. There's no characters in Babylon 5 so far that I wish were just not there. That took me to a place of just anger and you know, the feeling. This character sucks. All right, there we go. Now we are here to the final 9? 3, 6, 9. Okay. I don't know how long this has been going. Hour and 15 minutes. To any of you who have been here since I first started, congratulations. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Whew. It is getting hot in this garage, though. I'll tell you, we're up to 91 degrees and rising. All right. So the final 9. We'll go with Ambassador Kosh first. The Vorlons. They are a mystery. I think they have speech impediment. I think they have wings of some kind, because at the end of season 1, Delene wanted to see what they look like, and we didn't get to see it ourselves, but I heard flappings of wings. So I'm thinking they're space angels, or there's some race I'm going to call space angels, because it only makes sense with the darkness, the evil coming. There'd be space angels, creatures of light, and I do know there's light in that suit too. So are they? Are they space angels? I don't know. I do know their technology blows everyone else's out of the water. They are secretive. They are peculiar. They do not have tentacles and drain your brain energy like we thought in that one episode. What have I forgotten? James. What have I forgotten? Also, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Why do you got your thumb? Why do you got your hands up? It could be Batman. Could be Batman. Batman is a possibility. Though I'm saying Space Angel, because it makes sense with kind of what we're being led to. We're being led to the darkness versus the light. So and we got to see that one. No, that's season 2, so I won't talk about it. But there was something that happened there. All right. So where do I rank Kosh? I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Like, he's not S tier because he's so mysterious. Though I don't know, that blowing up the Death Walker and then you're not ready for immortality scene. That was pretty pimp. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. S or A? This is contemplation. This is where it gets hard. These last 9 are going to be tough. Well, some more tough than others. Kosh, those tough. Has he done enough to be S tier? I mean, he definitely minimum A tier. I just keep thinking of that one line though, where he blows up the ship, or his species does. You're not ready for immortality. Pebbles, avalanche, like, oh my God. Gallon. That is a good, he could be patrolling down below as Batman. Yeah, and Mooncalf, you're 100% right. No one even did anything after he blew it up. Like, Space Force, or whatever they're called, Space Corps, or whatever the Earth Alliance is called, they didn't do shit after he blew up the person they were bringing back. All right, Kosh, just because you do what you want, you don't give a crap, you're S tier, my man, or my woman, or my whatever you are. I don't even know what they are. Oh, all right, yeah, so we'll put there. All right, then we go to Delene, my Minbari crush. She was in Lost. She played the French woman, which I did not know until someone told me, but then after they told me, how could I not have seen it? It's obviously the same person. She and Sinclair are probably the closest. Maybe only other one will be Sinclair and Garibaldi. But I think Delene and Sinclair had a very close relationship that went back to the Grey Council and when he was taken aboard their ship. You know, like, she has had a deep interest in him, and he a trust in her. She has shown the Minbari to be wise, spiritual people who I do believe can be trusted and do want what is best for the universe. I think everyone, not everyone, I think most people are going to be S tier who are left, just because they're all so damn good. So yeah, I mean, I can't not put Delene in S tier. I just can't do it. I mean, she is amazing. She's such a good character. She's a better character than stinking Kosh here. But Kosh is just a pimp, though, so he gets put up there just because he don't give a shit. But she's in there just because of the sheer force she brings to the show. The kind of air of she's a gravitas. Gravitas. She has this presence about her that just uplifts every scene she's in. And she is kind of our window into the Minbari world. And through her, we have seen so much of their culture and the way they believe and think and act. She's totally S tier. Totally S tier. It's called whatever the Earth Alliance is called. It's called the Earth Alliance. Oh, that's funny. I do like the League of Non-Aligned Worlds. I almost put just a group picture of all those different alien races. The ones with the like fish heads, and the one from the ones from H.P. Lovecraft. You know, it would have been great. Yes, Delene is also a pimp. The way she handled this dude here, the war cast dude who thought he was big shit, yeah, she put him in his place. All right, that gets us to Londo. Londo is one of my favorites. You all know this. He is Napoleon in space, you know? This great, prideful Centauri who cannot stand to see what has happened to his people and his race. You know, it's not like they're at the bottom of the alien social status or power ranking or anything, but they used to rule the universe. They used to hold other worlds in their hand, and they were powerful and prideful and great warriors, and the mere mention of the Centauri people would strike fear in other races. And now, what did he say? They have tourist attractions, and you know, they bring people in to just, you know, take pictures, and he is ashamed of what his race has become, and he misses the days of old, which is why he is being manipulated by the shadows to do very evil things. I mean, what did he kill? Like 15,000 people on the space station of Jakar's race. Can't remember what their race is called. But he killed a lot of people. Not directly, but indirectly. But it has got him what he wanted. You know, there is now fear in the universe. He is now looked at by his people as greater than he actually is. Or maybe not greater than he actually is. He actually is pretty great. He was able to take out their whole base without it being led back to his people. I mean, I don't know. And he is magnificent in purple. That is 100% right, Stan. 100%. Let me read some of the comments real quick. The Lindy Kosh's pimp. Nice. Yeah, the Bulldog face didn't make it, did he? He didn't make it. He should have been on here. I was pointing him out for a long time. Then I kind of lost it. Yeah. So it's pretty obvious where Londo's going. I mean, come on. How could he not go? How could he not go to S tier? You would not watch my show. You would not watch my reaction if I rated him any less, because you would know I'm full of shit, because he is S tier 100%, which leads us to another obvious ranking. Jakar, the proud Jakar, the ambassador of the the Nam race, who were once held under the oppressive foot of the Centauri, who had to fight for their freedom, and now is a formidable force in the universe who wants nothing more than to see the Centauri fall. They also are evolved from marsupial type creatures, and they have pouches, which I thought was interesting. They got crazy evil red eyes, though. Kind of creep me out. But he's such a good character. He's such a proud character who loves the human women, by the way. We've seen him multiple times not only hit on the ladies, but we saw multiple come out of his room before. So some freaky deaky going on. But he's great. And I love that he is actively pursuing this kind of hidden foe. Like he instantly knew something was going on. Some sort of dark entity, some ancient evil was afoot in the world and causing chaos. And he went right after it. Like, he's not backing away from it. So I do love that part of him. He will tell you to kiss his pouch. Not on the first date, buddy. Not on the first date. Cask. Yes, the full body makeup. I love his chest piece. I heard it pulled his hair out and he hated it, but it looks so good. When he comes out in his pimp ass robe, apparently everyone in S tier I'm calling a pimp. I don't know why. It's just, he definitely had that look though. He came out in that robe with his chest showing after the 3 ladies left. This was in the last episode, I think. You know, like this man is having a good time being ambassador. It has its perks. It has its perks. And his back and forth with Londo is some of the best I've ever seen in any show. Their back and forth is amazing. Their conflict feels real and driven, and they do seem to truly hate each other and enjoy torturing each other. And I love that aspect of the two characters. It just probably helped Londo go to the point he's at where he's working with the darkness to get rid of his enemies, because, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, you're S tier, my man. No doubt. He's French. Very good. Okay. We're down to the last 5. Dr. Stephen Franklin. I'm still a little upset with you taking advantage of that girl who was... Oh, is that season 1 or 2? That's season 2. Never mind. I don't think that's happened yet. There's an episode in season 2 where... I believe it's season 2. He finds a woman who's been in cryostasis and her husband died, and anyway, they ended up like almost going like full on at it. Like, that's so unprofessional, Doctor. But I can't judge him on that. This is season 1 rankings. He's arrogant. He's very arrogant. He thought he could do surgery on a kid whose parents and race thinks if you cut their flesh, you take their soul. He thought he could do that with no repercussions. If you would have told them, I have some treatment, and then did the surgery while they thought you were doing some other treatment and they didn't know, that would have worked. You could have done the surgery on the DL without letting them know how anti you were of their faith. And maybe they would have bought it. But no. You all but told them you're going to do the surgery no matter what. You did the surgery, you healed the kid, and they ended up killing him. How did you not see this coming? I saw it coming. I mean, you doubted. Your faith is not their level of faith. Your faith in medicine is not as true as their faith in their God or their religious text. I mean, they believe it through and through. And if you truly believe if someone is cut, they lose their soul and become a fake person, if you truly believe that, you would kill them out of mercy to save them from the horror of living as a non-person for their life. If that's what you truly believe. I got that, which is why I knew the minute they took him out, he was dead. They did it to put an end to his suffering. You didn't think they were true to their faith. You were wrong. James, 100%, a doctor with a God complex. He reminded me of Alec Baldwin, I believe the movie is Malice, though I could be wrong on that title, where he's in a doctor's hearing, and there's, and he basically says whenever someone goes in for a surgery, the parents aren't praying to God, they're praying to me. I am the one who will save them. I am God. And that's the vibe I get from Dr. Franklin. With all that said, he's still an interesting character. I like him in the show, but he's solid A tier. He's not S tier. Because honestly, if they switched him out with a different doctor, I'd get used to it. It wouldn't be a great loss. It would be like, he was a good character, but whatever. All right. Read a few comments before we get on to Talia. Oh, he lived with Garibaldi. I bet that was an experience. Jacobs, yeah, he is A tier. I agree. Franklin's such a creep. He is a bit of a creep in some episodes. I am 100% with you. Yes, Mr. Tickle Trunk. She did make the first move, but you must realize she just learned her husband's dead. She's been asleep for years. She's obviously suffering from PTSD. Like, she is in no position to make a move like that. Like, she did it just out of just probably being just messed up from the whole situation. She kissed him, yes, but he also took her back to his room when she passed out. Come on, dude. That is inappropriate. Inappropriate. When you know she's putting moves on you, you take her back to your room? Come on, dude. Mr. Tickle Trunk, I agree with that too. I do miss the original doctor, the kind of older guy who sounded like he had a South African accent, who saw what Kosh actually looked like. I really liked him. But yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, my mom did this, did that. Do you want to grab lunch? It's fun. But yeah, he can be a little creeper. All right. Talia Winters. First of all, her skirts are really tight. I don't know how she moves in those things. Does anyone else notice that? Like, she just kind of shuffles along because her clothes are so tight. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I have noticed multiple times, like, how is she walking? So she is our Psy-Corps rep on Babylon 5. She works with different people to read for negotiations. She's an interesting character. Her and Garibaldi have a tenuous relationship, to say the least. Her and Ivanova have an even more tenuous relationship. I keep waiting for them two to hook up, though, because I think there's a lot of tension there, which could lead maybe a little something more, which would be interesting. I'm not going to say I'd mind seeing that, but we'll keep this professional. I am not Dr. Franklin, so I will keep it professional, unlike him. She's a good character, but her standalone kind of episodes where you kind of follow her mostly are not some of my favorites. I believe for a member of Psy-Corps who is pretty high level in their powers, who was amplified by human turn into mind and energy dude, she needs better control. Like, she seems to, I don't know, not have as much control of her powers as I would think by now. And I don't like that. I want her to be more forceful in what she can do. But overall, good character, not a great character. She's A tier. Soliday. Alan, yes. She is the equivalent of Shepard. Let's bang, okay? I love Mass Effect, by the way, except for the third one, Mass Effect 3. I hated how they ended it. I'm not going to get really into it, but I bought Mass Effect 1 when it first came out, and the promise of carrying over characters from game to game and everything you do will give you a completely unique end by the end of the whole game series, it drew me in. As a tabletop role player, the concept of that I loved. It was kind of a letdown. But when I did play Shepard, though, I did bang almost everybody. I played through multiple characters, multiple ways. If there was a bangable character in Mass Effect, I said let's bang. All right. Yeah, I did hear that Garibaldi and Talia Winters were married at some point and then got divorced, and that's got to be weird. Got to be weird. But either way, she's an okay character. I want to see her do more, though. I think she is underutilized so far, and I don't think she's living up to her full potential. Dr. Benjamin Kyle. That was a great quote, Jacobs. I have looked upon the face of a Vorlon and nothing is the same anymore. Which makes me think Space Angel. He saw a Space Angel. Melted his brain. He had to go back to work at Earth Alliance main headquarters. Yeah, Gallon, Dougal, 100% right. I played it for single player mode. I could care less about multiplayer. Could care less when it comes to Mass Effect. Now, a game like Halo, 100% multiplayer mattered more than single player for me personally. But Mass Effect, man, that was made for single player people who love role-playing games. You know, I mean, I played, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I played Jade Empire. I played Mass Effect. All these great RPGs. Ugh. All right. We're down to the top 3. Garibaldi. Our blue-collar, human as human can be character. He is the Miles O'Brien of Babylon 5. He is the everyman. He is the guy you want to go have a beer with after work, even though he can't drink beer because he's an alkie. I'd go have a water with him after work. He was fantastic. He is fantastic. He does his job well. He's got a troubled past. He's trying to become a better person, a better man. I do hate that he left behind a woman he loved on Mars, and when he found out she was okay, he wanted to go see her. She's got a husband and a baby coming too. Like, too late, you missed your shot. So live with that. But I love Garibaldi. And the end of season 1, he gets shot in the back. Is he going to live? Is he going to die? So many questions left. And I was worried. I was worried he was going to die. Especially when we get into season 2 and Sinclair's gone. If Sinclair's gone, they can get rid of anybody, right? Like, it was crazy. But Garibaldi, man, I love you. The show would not be the same without you. Obvious S tier. Obvious S tier. Ivanova, my beautiful Russian doll. She is a powerhouse. She is a force to be reckoned with. She takes no shit. She gives lots of shit. She is a strong Russian. She does not like to show emotion. She does not like to break down. She does not like to show weakness. She hates the Psi Corps. She might have some latent powers herself, maybe. I'm not sure about that. There's been some hints that maybe there's something there, but nothing really major, so they could go that way. They probably won't. But a very troubled past, troubled childhood with her mother and the psychotics and the drugs she was having to take. That I guess they were antipsychotics that made her psychotic. I don't know how it worked. She ended up taking her own life, though, right? She ended up self-deleting, as we say on YouTube, to not get demonetized. You can't say the S word. They're very weird about that kind of stuff. And she grew up resenting her father, who was cold to her. And even though when he almost died, he reached out. And she eventually held a wake, or whatever the Jewish people call a wake, basically. I can't remember what it's called. But she had that with her father's friend, who was also her friend and a rabbi. And I believe she found closure with her father's death, and that's good. But she's a powerhouse. She's a great character. She's a character I want to see in every episode that is constantly making me laugh. Like when she was really tired and Sinclair and Garibaldi acted like they were done eating and time passed, and it was all just a pranker. That was fantastic. She is someone that might kill you if you go too far, and I like that in a woman. I like a woman that has boundaries, and you know if you cross those boundaries, you might die. And maybe that just makes me a punishment sucker, a sucker for punishment. I don't know. But, I mean, it's obvious she is S tier. I mean, obviously she's S tier. I mean, how can she not be? And that leaves us with my favorite character in the whole show. One of the greatest commanders or captains. I'm going to say he's not technically a captain, but he is the best. Sinclair is neck and neck with Benjamin Sisko, honestly, in my opinion. Benjamin Sisko has always been my favorite commander or captain, depending on which season of DS9 you are looking at. He's always been my favorite. Picard, I always said, was the captain you wanted in times of peace, and Sisko is a captain you would want in times of war. Sinclair is a captain you would want for either times, war or peace. I can see him in either scenario being absolutely amazing at his job. The ability to see both sides, to act rationally, but to still have the passion. He has the rationale of Picard with the passion of Sisko, which makes him absolutely amazing. He is amazing. He made season 1 for me. He really did. And going into season 2, when he was not there, the first episode, because I did not watch the intro like I was told, I thought I was watching the wrong episode. Did I miss something? Is there an episode I missed? Because he's not even here to show how I cannot talk because I'm getting excited and sad. They did not even show how he left. He was not even in the episode for 5-10 minutes to show the transition. He was just gone. He was gone. Where's Sinclair? Sinclair's nowhere. He's gone. He's on the Minbari homeworld. And I didn't know what the hell was going on. Is he going to come back? Is he gone? I didn't know. And they bring in this new guy, Sheridan, who seems fine. He's got nice hair like Sinclair. They both have good hair, which is nice. I like seeing a captain with good hair. Mine is Picard. His hair was terrible. But I don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about season 2 so far. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to go too much into it because you have to watch those reactions when I post them. But I'm like 7 or 8 episodes in, and I'm still trying to get my vibe for Sheridan, because I loved Sinclair so much. He had such a presence about him, such a great voice. And when he was angry, you thought he would send down the fires of hell to destroy you. Like, he really would get angry and he would sell it. But he would also have these moments of great kindness and compassion that were just unmatched. And I miss you, Sinclair. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. I miss you, Sinclair. You're S tier. You're higher than S tier. You would be up here if there was a different ranking. But you are S tier. You are with good company up here. Which is funny how S tier is all of the, or almost all of the main cast. I could put a Mantis boy up there. But he's not S tier. But I do love him. But that is my ranking. That is my ranking of Babylon 5 characters. So what do you think? Is it kind of how you would rank them? Is it not? Am I completely crazy? Let me know. I'm gonna keep going for probably another 15 minutes or so, just to answer questions or just chat, read some of these responses. So going back to Ivanova, Mr. Trickle says she has a very Russian life story. Indeed she does. Uncle Yassel, yeah, I loved him. Yep, he was Worf's dad. I knew that. S tier for season 1, you cannot disagree with by Wokel. Thank you, Wokel. I'm glad we're kind of on the same page there. Sinclair and D, I assume? You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, Mooncalf. I know you're just being sarcastic, I hope. Oh, Mr. Trickle Trump, no way. There's no way I would make a woman change a tire. My wife does nothing with the car. I change tires, I plug holes, I do the oil, I take it in, I do all that. But I do like a woman, like my wife, who is not a pushover. Like she has her boundaries, she has her lines. And I know where the lines are. And I know if I cross a line, she don't play. All right. She doesn't write in pencil, she writes in ink. If you do something wrong to my wife, she will remember. 20 years from now, I'm sure she'll be bringing up things I've done. But, you know, there is a peace in knowing what the lines are. I like knowing exactly how far I can go. And I like knowing the consequences if I go past it. All right. That's how I feel about that. But no, I would not like a woman who would change a tire while I'm in the car and it's raining. I do believe there's certain things that, as a man, you should do. Changing a tire, whether raining or not, is one of them. Now, I'm fine with a woman helping you change a tire. Hey, hon, can you grab me the jack out of the trunk as I undo the lug nuts? You know, a partnership, which is what a good relationship should be, a partnership. But yeah. Yeah. All right. Add an O tier. Exactly. Sinclair is the man. There should be a tier above S. I could have put one in there, but I didn't. Yeah, Alan, so I definitely see where when this show came out, if you went into season 2 and Sinclair was gone and you didn't know why, it would make some people not want to watch. I get it. The only thing that has made this transition easy is I found out why Sinclair left, or the actor left. He was having severe mental issues. He wasn't written out of the show because they didn't like him, or he didn't just leave the show because he thought he was too good for Babylon 5. I'm sure there were tons of rumors going around when he left on why he did, but he left for understandable reasons, for his own mental health. He just couldn't do the show. And the fact that they let him go, and they did not let that out until after he died, I think, was what the showrunner and him came to the agreement to. Like, you can tell people the real reason whenever I die. That makes it where I'm giving the show a lot of leeway with Sheridan right now, because I understand why they had to change him out, and they're doing their best with what they got. And it's not terrible. I don't hate Sheridan. He's a good captain so far, but he's no Sinclair. Yes, Sean, 100%. Sisko and Sinclair, very similar in that way. Yep, a mix of Sisko and Picard, 100%. That's why I love him so much. He takes the best of Sisko and the best of Picard and put it into one character. And I loved it. Loved it. Oh, Sean, I get why he's gone in the actual show. He is on the Minbari homeworld, and he's a ambassador or something now. He was promoted. I mean, I get in the show why he's gone. I just didn't like it, and I wish we'd have saw him, been told he was going, and he'd had a chance to say, you know, bye to everyone, and I'll see you when I come back to Babylon 5, or Something like that is what you would have expected. But once again, once I found out the real reason, it all made sense, and I'm fine with how it's going. Trust in the writing. I do trust in the writing. I have watched enough of Babylon 5 that I know they're not going to let me down. And I was told, thank goodness, this is not going to be like Lost, where they have all this they write, and you think you're going to get everything answered, and but it turns out they were just pulling shit out of their ass the whole time and didn't know where they were going. This was written as a long storyline with a long arc. They knew where they were going. Everything was planned out. My questions will be answered, and I will be satisfied. I do have faith in the writing. Sheridan will grow on me. I hope so. He's growing on me a little bit, but it's a hard transition right now. Yeah, the dock workers in Sinclair. That was a great move. So I have the authority to whatever I need to do to end this riot, right? All right, we're gonna give them what they want. Which, you know, I would get if they were like a union for something that didn't really matter for Babylon 5 and the company or the government not wanting to give them what they wanted. I don't even I don't know. Maybe they were the prep cooks. I don't know. But these are dock workers. These are people who keep your station running. They're responsible for ships coming in, and they're a very integral and important part of Babylon 5. And part of things running smoothly is them being able to do their job properly. And if you're hindering them by not wanting to give them more money for what they need, it makes no sense. Makes no sense. Why? Why would you not want to keep them happy and give them what they need? They weren't asking for anything crazy, I didn't think. And I get they had a contract. I am a contract worker too. I work under contract for various things. And I get when you sign a contract, that is what you get. You get this, this, and this. Anything outside of that contract, you don't get. It has to be either renegotiated or you got to wait for the contract to end and put it in the new contract. I get that aspect of it, but I also cannot fathom how something like your space docks running smoothly and properly would not be a top priority, and if more funds were needed, they would not be allocated to that. That was the dumbest thing ever. So I'm glad Sinclair did what he did. The people running that part of Earth Alliance, responsible for the dock workers' money and all, they were idiots, and they got what they deserved. No mystery boxes left unopened. Thank God. Thank J.J. Abrams. So I am also watching the show Fringe. I'm on season 3. I think I'm on season 3. It might be season 4. I don't recall. I think season 3 though. And as far as J.J. Abrams' show, so far it's not been that bad. I have also been told it's not going to leave me wanting answers. So, but everything else J.J. Abrams has done, I'm not a huge Abrams fan. Yep, it takes a while for things to pay off. I did hear that, and I'm so used to wanting answers. Like, give me answers. I'm having to be more patient with Babylon 5. Got to be more patient, which is not one of my virtues, but I am trying. Yes, Jonathan Maxart. I remember that episode where Sinclair talked to Ivanova, and she is the greatest officer I've ever served with. Like, she really does take her job seriously, and her job comes first. It is her greatest love in her life, I think, is being a officer in Earth Alliance, and it definitely shows. Really, Breaking Bad has B5 references. I have seen Breaking Bad, but it was before I watched Babylon 5, so I might have missed some of those references. I might need to check those out. Yeah, Mike, wealthy don't even get me started on politics. It's just, this is all I will say about politics. I don't want this to be a political channel. I might make another channel for that eventually, but I don't even know about that. I just don't want to get into politics, really. I don't know how it is around the world. I'm in the US. All I'm going to say, it's funny how anyone who gets any major political office goes into that office with X amount of net worth and then leaves office with a much higher amount of net worth that their mere salary doesn't really explain. So you can take that however you want, and this is for every politician. Doesn't matter what side or what party. They all go in with X money, they leave with XXX money. So how do they get that money? You figure it out, you know. Michael Connor. I did not watch Fringe when it came on the air because I thought the exact same thing. Why do I need to watch Fringe? I've already seen the X-Files. 100%, I get where you are coming from. And I will say season 1 definitely feels that way. But once you get into kind of season 2 and beyond, it really does take a different route than just kind of X-Files. So I get 100% where you're coming from, though, because I did not watch Fringe for the longest time because I thought the exact same thing. I don't need to watch Fringe. I've seen X-Files. But it does take its own little path, so. Yes, Babylon 5 is full of politics, and I will get into Babylon 5 politics, but not real world politics, because no matter what position you take, you're going to piss off 50% of your audience, right? And you know, I watch these shows to not deal with the real world, and I think people watch my reactions to not deal with the real world. There's plenty of channels that deal with the real world. I don't want to be one of them, because the real world is shit. That's why we like our fantasy world, where it might be shit, but you can see the goodness in people also in watching these shows and realize hopefully the good side will win in the end, where in the real world it's not really the case. All right, Mr. Tickle Trunk, I'm right there with you, dude. Like, I don't want to go into any of that stuff on my channel. Yeah, Mike Finney about B5 and politics. That's like I said, I have no problem talking about politics as they relate to Babylon 5 and what's going on in the Babylon 5 world. The dock workers thing, you got to talk about politics when you talk about that episode, because it is about government and it's about unions and the corruption and the not giving people what they want and all that, which is fine when you talk about it in the Babylon 5 setting. But I'm not going to go into workers' rights in the real world. You know, I'll talk about anything political as it relates to Babylon 5. And that's also one of my rules in my Patreon, though it's not really a hard rule. Like, you can talk about anything in my Patreon or on my YouTube channel, as long as it is related to the show. You know, keep it show related. So. Yep, and this was my last thing about the whole politics thing, Mike Finney. All good sci-fi is a reflection of our real world. That's why sci-fi over any other genre is so great, because it can reflect real world problems, real world politics, real world ills and issues, but it allows you to tackle them in a way that is disconnected from your real world. It allows you to see both sides, to understand both sides, to get into the minds of different races, different cultures, and see why they do things. And even though you might disagree with certain cultures, certain races in the sci-fi world, it allows you a glimpse into the mindset of different aspects of reality you might not see otherwise. And sci-fi, like no other genre, can really tackle things in the real world without hitting you over the head with real world bullshit. And that's where I'm going to leave the political talk on this live, because I really don't want to get into it. All right. Sci-fi fantasy is the escape we need. 100%. 3 awesome, 1 good season in front of you. All right, so I have 3 awesome, 1 good. I'll take it. All right, B5 and DS9. I'm right there with you. Those are my top sci-fi shows. Well, Babylon 5 is not top 2 yet. I have to finish this series. I can't make that kind of judgment until I finish it. So, Wokel, I think no matter what level of technology we reach, I think there needs to be a fundamental change in the very nature of humanity to get beyond all the bullshit in the world. I don't think any technology is really going to change that. Now, I do think if you get to the point where in like Star Trek The Next Generation, you can convert matter into energy and energy into matter, that'll solve a lot of issues in the world, in the universe. But until humanity itself fundamentally changes, we're just going to end up in the same spot that we are in, you know. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, and Michael Connor, I do think when DS9 was made, obviously the company had access to the Babylon 5 scripts. And I do think season 1 had some inspiration from Babylon 5, definitely. But as Babylon 5, not as Babylon, as DS9 went on, they found their own footing, their own stories, and I think it took a different turn from Babylon 5. But once again, I'm only halfway through season 2, or not even halfway. I'm a third of the way through season 2 of Babylon 5. So I could be wrong on that. But just from what I've seen so far, I do think, though, inspiration was taken. That's a nice way of saying it. I do think in the end they hopefully become their own unique shows. That is the hope. Gallon, you're 100% right. We be getting calls constantly about updating our car warranty plan. I don't know if that's a thing in the rest of the world, but here in the US, you get calls constantly about updating your vehicle's warranty. It's all fake. None of it's real. Constant. But yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk, you are right there, but that's kind of that's where Star Trek is so different from Babylon 5. Star Trek, especially the next generation years, humanity has access to infinite matter, infinite energy, and humanity has evolved to where they are driven by the ideal of bettering themselves and being better people and giving back, and they have found purpose in their lives, which is what you say, like if you had no meaning in life, it would be terrible. And it would be, you know, because a lot of people get meaning in responsibility and their work, their jobs, their hobbies. And if all of that was just taken for granted, would you lose your purpose? Possibly. But that's why I said, even with the advancement of technology, humanity itself would need to evolve with that technology to find a true peace in the future in the universe. We're getting deep. I was a philosophy major for a little bit before I went into anthropology. So I can talk a lot about this subject. And yeah, Wokel, I am happy they were both around, DS9 and Babylon 5. I have said this previously, when Deep Space Nine was on, I never watched Babylon 5 because I thought, I thought Babylon 5 was ripping off Deep Space Nine. I was a teenager though. I didn't overly think things. I didn't even give Babylon 5 a shot. And as I got older and sci-fi turned into crap, I went back to Babylon 5 and I have learned many, many things. And I'm glad they both existed in the same time period, because if they didn't, I would not have been able to go back and start Babylon 5 and meet some wonderful people and watch an amazing show. Yeah, Babylon 5 does feel like a real future of humanity. Star Trek seems like the idealized future. Humanity gets all their shit together and goes out into the universe to bring prosperity and unite. That's a nice dream. In reality, humanity is a mess, and we would be like Babylon 5. We'd be up there with the aliens, but we would still have so much BS to settle with our own species, and we'd have people that would be racist against other aliens, and I think the only thing that could unite humanity in its hatred would be other creatures. So yes, you have united humanity only because we realize there are aliens in the world and now we just hate them. That's the real humanity. And I think every generation gets better. I hope, I pray, I think, from my experience on this world. But in reality, there's so much BS in the human race. Like, just going out into space is not going to fix that. It's going to take more time. All right, Walko, whatever that spoiler is, I did not see it, so we are all good. Yeah, exactly. Cool, Daddy. It'd take much longer than 2 centuries to work out our problems. All right, any other questions or anything, just let me know. I'm going to stay on another few minutes, see if anything comes in. If not, we'll call this live to a close. This is only my second or third live YouTube video, so hopefully it wasn't that terrible. I am extremely hot though, and we're up to 94 degrees in the garage. Yeah! But yeah, it's been a great live. I've enjoyed doing my tier list here. I think I'm pretty happy with where I ended up. Glad no characters made the D list. Fantastic. Okay. All right, well, you have another 2 minutes if you have any questions or comments. So let me know. All right, James, thank you for showing up to the live stream. Make sure you hit that like button, everybody. I have heard that, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I do like some of the episodes that are deemed very mediocre, but I think it's just because I was so starved for sci-fi. I need a good sci-fi show, and even some of the not great episodes are amazing when you are starved for quality sci-fi television. All right, a short definition. I don't know how I can do it short, but it is Sinclair is my favorite character because he is a fair, strong leader. He shows compassion to those under his command and those that are not. He takes no shit. He does what he thinks is right no matter the consequences. He's killer with the ladies because he's got that hot captain. So I give him credibility. He is the quintessential commander you would want. He is someone that you could respect both on and off the job. We have all had bosses that we just do not respect, that belittles those that are under them. And Sinclair is the kind of leader you would follow to the death. To the death. Because you know he would give his life for you in a heartbeat. And he inspires those under him. That makes a great commander and a great character. And he's just so good. He's so good. And I'm still heartbroken he is not in season 2. Still heartbroken. Oh yes, all about Babylon 5, cool daddy. Check out my other shows though. I do know, like, when it comes to Fringe, I've only posted like 2 episodes on YouTube because editing for YouTube is not very fun. And you can spend hours on editing something for it to get rejected. And you got to do it all over, and it kills your spirit. Hey, the ice cream person's in the neighborhood. I can hear the music. All right. Yep, I should have the first episode of season 2 up next week, probably Monday or Tuesday. Zotherus likes Babylon 5 better than Star Trek. Good for you, Zotherus. Yeah, the Vorlons are next level. uh, yes. Jan, if you're talking about the illness of the actor who played Sinclair, yes, people in my Patreon told me after I watched a few episodes of season 2. I think I was on the 3rd episode when they filled me in of why the actor did not come back, which I'm glad they did, because once again, my first thought was, why would they fire him? Or why would he leave? Like, this makes no sense. But now I know, and it's fine. Tickle Trunk, that's hard to say, to be honest. I watch at least 4 episodes a month on Patreon. I edit them as I have time. So there's some months I might post 6 episodes, some I might post 2. It just depends on what I have going on in life. I have a full-time job. I have a wife. I have a kid. Time is something I have very little of. And watching shows for Patreon is my first priority. So whatever time I have left over after watching my shows, I am obligated to watch, and that I like watching, because there's been a few shows on Patreon I have started and I just quit watching because I only have so much time and they weren't worth the time I was putting into them. 24 is one of those shows. 24 was a great show. I liked it. But it was so intense. I would spend the 45 minutes just tense. And it just was not fun to watch. Maybe I could just binge watch it all. It would be funner, but it was not a fun show. It was just a tense show. So there are certain shows I watch that I just don't like, so I quit watching because they just don't work for the time I have. But I got on a tangent there. So I watch my shows for Patreon, and the time I have left, I edit for YouTube. And like I said, editing a video for YouTube usually takes a couple hours. For a 15-20 minute video, it takes 2 to 3 hours to edit that video. And then it might not even get posted because they might reject it. They might copyright it. I might have to redo the whole edit. So it can take 5, 6, 7 hours to get a 15-minute video on YouTube. So that's why posting on YouTube is a lot harder than posting on Patreon. But I try to get as many episodes up as I can. As for my favorite episode, I don't know what my favorite episode is, to be honest. I'd have to really think on that and go back each episode. So I can't answer that right now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the 2-parter where they discover the planet below Babylon 5 has all that tech, because we got some good moments there. But honestly, I'd have to really think about that. Stargate Sg1, no. I have not watched any Stargate Sg1. I have seen the movie, And I know the guy that played MacGyver is in Stargate, but I have not watched any of that show. Yes, Mr. It was butt clenching fun, but it was too much. 24 was too much for me to watch 2 episodes or 3 episodes over a few weeks. That is one of those shows you're so tense you got to watch the whole season to see what happens, because it's just tense. It's just too much. It's too much. It was too much for me. I couldn't watch anything after 24 because I would just be stressed out. It was a stressful show. Yes, Wokel, YouTube is great if it wasn't for the editing. The editing is terrible. And when you know you are following copyright laws, I know the copyright laws. When I do my first edit of any video, I know it falls within copyright. I only show X amount of the video, X amount of the audio. I give commentary throughout. It falls within copyright laws. I am legally able to post what I post, but it gets blocked anyway. And all that you can do is either re-edit or you can dispute the claim, and then it's up to the person who has copyright ownership to say yay or nay if they want to let you post your video. Usually you have to re-edit. It's horrible. So SG1 is good, huh? Well, it'll be I will put SG1 on my next Patreon poll, and we'll see if it gets picked. So I will post whenever I am doing my next Patreon poll. I will let my YouTube people know. You can vote for $1. So if you really love SG1 and want me to react to it, next time I do a poll on Patreon, I will let my YouTube people know. You can join my Patreon for $1, vote, and then cancel if you really want to, or you can sign up for $1, vote, and then watch some of my $1 full reactions. I do have some on there. So and then you can cancel and get your vote in. Atlantis, I've never seen that one either. All right, like I said, Stargate will be added to my next Patreon poll. Probably won't have a Patreon poll though for another month or so. I have to finish some of the shows I'm currently watching. I have a ton of shows on my plate right now. Let me run through real quick what I'm watching on Patreon real quick. I'm watching Chuck, The Vampire Diaries, White Collar, Blacklist, Person of Interest, Bodyguard, Leverage, Babylon 5, Fringe, Charmed, Whack Fu, 911, Merlin, Hamish Macbeth. Those are all the shows I watch on Patreon monthly. There's a few other things added here and there, but I've got a lot on my plate. But I promise you, when I finish one of those shows, I will add Stargate to my next poll. "12 Monkeys, Travelers." I have heard 12 Monkeys was good. That'll probably be on the poll too. I also want to watch Stranger Things Season 4. I heard it's fantastic. I've seen all the other seasons. Just don't have the time. Breaks my heart. I don't have the time. And that's one thing you will learn if you ever become a reactor yourself. There will be shows you want to watch. And if you weren't reacting, you could watch them. Because it is a lot easier to just watch a show, sitting on the couch, watching it, not filming, not talking, just vegging out, binge watching shows. But when you want to film them, you have to set the time aside. You got to be in the mood to react. Because no one wants to watch you react to a video if you're in a bad mood or you just are in a mood. You've worked all day, you're tired, and you're just not going to give a good reaction. So you got to be in a mood to give it your all. And Stranger Things, you're on my list too. You probably won't even be on a poll. I'm going to watch you. It's just a matter of when. Right? That is a lot. I'm watching a lot of things. Now, some of those I only do 1 or 2 episodes. Others I do 4. Some of those are patron sponsored shows. They are in my top tier. They ask me to watch something and I watch it. So it's only 1, maybe 2 episodes. So, but some of those are 4 episodes a month. Charmed, I am actually liking. I'm only 6 or 7 episodes in, and I really like it because it takes me back to the 90s, which is when I was a teenager, and I remember Charmed being on TV but never watching it. But the acting, the sound effects, the music, it all is very nostalgic for me, and it has a Buffy-esque quality, which I really do like. Piper is my favorite character. I love her. Love Piper. Stranger Things 4. All right, so it's only half out now, half in July. I will watch it when I have the time, so it might be in July, it might be after. This is what it is. All right, so Jan, I am not a overly emotional person. I don't think so, but it's really weird because when it comes to reality, to real people, real situations, I am pretty unemotional. I really am. I've got some deep down personal issues, I think, that I've never dealt with, and I'm just not a very emotional person. I don't cry often. I honestly, before doing a reaction channel, I haven't cried in years. But when it comes to fictional characters, fictional people, fictional stories, I can get drawn into moments and be emotional and cry. I've cried maybe during 3 or 4 of my reactions, throughout all my reactions, and they're not like bawling tears crying, but it's like single man tear, just falls down my cheek. And it's weird because if it's people in a real situation in real life, I'm not like that. But fictional characters, fictional settings, I can be drawn in and I can get emotional. But I am not a very emotional person. No, I am not. I am sadly very unemotional. And it's a weird thing, but it is what it is. Buffy and Angel. Yes, I have seen all of Buffy. I have only seen season 1 of Angel. So I might pick up the rest of the seasons of Angel down the road. And actually, Buffy, I've never seen the final season. I've never seen the final season. It switched carriers when it came on TV when the final season came out, and I didn't get that channel. And by the time streaming and all came along, I've just never really went back to it. So maybe I need to watch the season finale of Buffy, or the final season of Buffy, and then the rest of Angel down the road. Wesley. He was the other Watcher in Buffy, right? So he shows up on Angel. I did not know that. It's a minor spoiler. Doesn't really matter. Angel is better than Buffy. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, Jan, I do agree with that. We are getting more of Ivanova's character so far in season 2, and she's not as hard-edged as she was in season 1. And I do like seeing that side of her, but I don't know which one I like better yet. So I have to see how this plays out. I mean, I very well could cry during Babylon 5. Like I said, I'm not an emotional person, but I can get drawn into fictional people's lives and get somewhat emotional. I doubt you will see me crying like a little baby, though. That's just not me. But you might see the occasional single man tear, or a couple man tears. But I will not just lose my shit. No. At least I don't think I will. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Mr. Trickle Trunk, you are fine. Like I said, I have seen season 1 of Angel. That is all. But knowing Wesley shows up at some point, that's fine. I would assume various cast members will show up in the show Angel from time to time. I don't really consider things like that spoilers for the most part, honestly. Spoiler is telling me exactly what's going to happen. But like just saying so and so character shows up, that's perfectly fine. That's not anything major. Yes, yes. Tickle Trunk. That is 100% true. It is good that Sheridan shows up with people he's worked with before. It does help integrate him in better to the cast, to the characters, and it helps with the mind of the viewer too, knowing he didn't just come out of nowhere. Like, oh, all right, so she knows him, so he must be okay because she likes him, and we like her, and we trust her judgment. So yes, 100%. Yes, I am really enjoying season 2 so far. What was the last episode I watched? I can't even remember what it was. I don't know. I can't remember. My memory's shot. Yeah, and Jan, I also think that I am able to get more emotional attached to fictional characters because you can see their whole character, and you know what you are seeing is real. When it comes to real people, I just assume 99% of everyone I meet is full of shit, and they all have done bad things in their lives, so I'm not sympathetic. And I know that's a bad way to view things. I do know that, but like I said, I'm positive I have some deep-seated emotional issues I need to deal with to better myself in life, but I'm old and set in my ways, and who has time to work on personal problems, right? I am happy in my ignorance of myself. I have heard that too, Trickle Trunk. He writes trap doors in case he needs to get characters out, which is a smart thing to do as a writer. But I still, Sinclair, you're the man. I missed you. Uh, yeah, Sheridan definitely comes off as a by the book officer type who doesn't really see the 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 oh, cannot talk, the gray. Sheridan comes off as a hardline military man who does not see the gray in the world. He's a very black or white kind of guy. You know, this is how it is written, this is how it should be done. That's how he comes off right now. I'm thinking maybe he'll soften up some. How old am I? I am. Holy shit. Let me think how old I am. I am 42. No, I am 43. No, I'm 42. I'll be 43 this year. Born in 79. Yes, I did not remember everyone when doing my list, so there are some people missing. I do apologize for that. They will be on the next one if they survive, or if they are in season 2. They'll definitely be in the next one. That's funny. Funny, Tickle Trump. Yeah. How old am I? When you get up there, you got to start doing the math. Plus, I don't think I've celebrated a birthday since I was like 8 years old. Like, I never had birthday parties or anything like that. So, birthdays to me have never been a big event. So, you just kind of lose track and don't really care. Like, how old am I? I don't know. October. I was born October of 79. I'm an October baby. And yes, I did not put Veer on my list. I forgot, but he would be a B list character. He would be a B list character if I did put him on here. he serves his purpose, but he gets on my nerves a little bit, and you know, he's not a crucial character to me in the show as of right now. All right, look at that. Me and Tickle Trunk, very similar in age. Yes, he did play Flounder in Animal House. Yes, they are very different characters, but once again, I am giving Sheridan a lot of leeway right now because he's brand new to the show. The cast already is kind of established, so it's going to take him a while to get his footing. Plus, like I said, once I found out the reason for the change, it made it a lot easier for me to let things slide I might normally be overly critical about, because I know it was a tough situation for everyone involved. So I am giving it a lot more leeway than I probably normally would, just because I understand the tough situation. Yeah, I hope Veer surprises me. I really, really do. But right now, only seeing season 1 and a handful of season 2, he's just kind of a annoying character. That's really what he is. He's almost played for comic relief, and he comes off different than most Centauri we have met. He doesn't hold himself quite like a Centauri does, you know, and it kind of throws me off. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being born in '99. All good. I am not ageist on my channel. I accept everyone. If you come in, you're good. Also, I will ask people that are in the chat still, what are some better ways to get my Babylon 5 videos out there? I have noticed other reactors. I've watched a couple of their reactions after I've watched the same episode, and there's a handful of reactors doing Babylon 5 that just get a ton more views than I do. What am I doing wrong? How can I reach a grander Babylon 5 audience on YouTube? You know. I will definitely look into reading the books after I finish this series. And let me show you. I found this at Goodwill for $2, and it's got all the Babylon 5 movies in it. So, very exciting find. All the movies. $5, Goodwill. Very cool. Never seen the show Jag either. That's one of those military or CSI type shows, right? No? Maybe? I don't know. In about an hour and a half, I'm going to play Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Very excited. It'll be my second game. Garibaldi is great comic relief. Yeah, it probably is my personality. As you can see, I talk quite a bit when I'm talking back and forth with people, but when I'm watching a show, I do get drawn into it. Like, I want you to get my real reaction. And sometimes my reaction is I'm drawn into the show and I just want to watch, and I don't want to talk while something's going on. But, you know, it is what it is. I get it, though. I get it. You know, my personality is definitely not for everyone. So. Really, Tim. Call of Cthulhu so far has been great. I've only played the one game. This will be the second game. My friend is running it. I have a group of friends, maybe 6 of us. We've known each other since like 94, and we've played role-playing games that entire time. So I have a pretty solid core group of role-playing buddies, and it's always a fantastic time. Third space, that's interesting. I could try trivia maybe, or try to be more expressive. I really won't though, because I do my own thing. But it is good to get some feedback from people that actually watch the shows on kind of why they think I don't get as many views as others. Those are all valid points. I have not noticed Kosh never walked through a door. All right, so Michael Connor, right now I am playing Call of Cthulhu, but I also play Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder. Now D&D I do 3.5. I don't like 4th or 5th edition. I also play a ton of White Wolf games, whether it's Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, so they're the two big ones. Also Mage every once in a while. Kindred of the East, Demon Hunter X. Those are really my main. Hey, Mr. Trickle Trunk, I appreciate that. And yeah, I try to give real reactions. I try not to ham it up. The only one I hammed up on was in my Obi-Wan Kenobi reaction, and that was on purpose. It was on purpose. I went as over the top as I could. But yeah, I mean, I was a reaction video fan before I ever did my own videos. It was actually the lockdown that made me decide to do my own videos, because there was a bunch of shows I've never seen, and I figured, being I watch reaction videos, why not record myself watching shows I've never seen? And it led to this channel. And yeah, so I give as real of a reaction as I can. I don't try to ham it up or go over the top more than I normally would, but it is what it is. And I do not throw any shade on any other reactor. You do you. Some people might not even be hamming it up. They just might be more into it and more expressive than I am. Like I said, I am not the most emotional person, so you know, it is what it is. Everyone does their own thing, though. There's some great reactors out there that I watch constantly, but yeah, there's some great people out there. Delta Green, all right. Mario, all right. Shadowrun, yes. I haven't played Shadowrun since like 98. That was always a fun game though. Loved Shadowrun. It's just yeah, we haven't played that one in a long time. Maybe we need to give that another shot. Yeah, White Wolf, their rules can be all over the place, but I've always kind of made up our own rules and our own world. We rarely use canon when it comes to different role-playing games. I've probably ran thousands of White Wolf games. I actually ran a LARP whenever LARPing was really big in the early 2000s. And at one time we had almost 100 players. It was absolutely insane. Lurker's Guide to Babylon 5. I will have to check that out. Now, is the Lurker's Guide to Babylon 5 separated by seasons or not? Because I don't want to go there if it's not separated by seasons. But I can look at stuff from season 1 and just kind of see. Yeah, I think, honestly, my two favorite other reaction channels right now is one is a girl named Ashley. I can't remember her channel's name. Sorry. I'm trying to give you a shout out. She's from Kentucky, I think, or somewhere like that, and her reaction channels are great. Her reaction videos I love. And there's another girl named Mary from Belgium, I think. She's fantastic. Those are my two absolute favorite reactors right now. All right, season and episode, fantastic. All right, you won't go there to be sure. All right, I'll probably wait then. Babylon 5 RPGs might be fun. I never played a Star Trek RPG because I thought it would be the most boring game ever. You run across a alien ship that's crashed. What do? I send a hell and I beam down and I try to help them because we're in Starfleet. Babylon 5, though, I can see being a lot more diverse as a role-playing game because it's not as goody two-shoes cookie cutter as Star Trek. Ashley Burton, yes, I love Ashley Burton. She is fantastic. She does some of the best reactions out there. If you haven't checked her out, check her out. But she has a ton more subs and views than I do, so I'm pretty sure you know who she is. And the Mary, can't remember Mary's channel name, but it's fantastic. Let me look that up. Movies with Mary. Check Movies with Mary out. She's fantastic too. She's doing Breaking Bad right now, which I absolutely love. All right, yeah, Michael Connor. So I am right. Yeah, I've always wanted to play it. I wanted to play the first Jim Hadar to join Starfleet. I thought it would have been an interesting character concept. You know, someone who is not addicted to Ketracel White, joins Starfleet to give back. It'd be kind of be like a Worf type character. He was the first Klingon. I'd be the first Jim Hadar, but I thought the game would be so boring, so I never even tried. Well, yes, I do know women get more views than men, but that's because YouTube is like 80% male. And let's be honest, fellas, I myself will be honest, I like watching videos on YouTube with charismatic, fun females. You know, I watch plenty of reaction that guys do the reaction videos, honestly. There's tons of them, but there's just something about watching, you know, just some funny ladies watching movies and shows that you love. There's a channel I watch that has guys. It's only two guys. It's a White Noise Reacts. Check them out. They do great reactions. One or both of those reactors are animators also, so they have a good take when it comes to that. It very well could, Mr. Trickle Trunk. My wife is into nothing I'm into when it comes to entertainment. She doesn't even watch movies or TV shows. Like nothing. She reads books. She watches nothing. No shows, no movies, no nothing. Read. You know, when it comes to the fundamental aspects of life and raising kids and being married, we're eye to eye in everything. But when it comes to entertainment, no interest in any of this at all. She doesn't even watch what I do. She doesn't care. She reads books, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, I watched my share of Game of Thrones reactions. I loved watching people react to their Red Wedding. That was fun. But Game of Thrones really shit the bed at the end. And I have never lost interest in a show so fast and so hard as I did with Game of Thrones. Me and my friends would get together on Sundays. We would cook dinners. We would cook themed dinners for Game of Thrones. That's how into it we were. And it completely shit the bed. Oh man, I have no interest in that new show coming out. Dance of Dragons or whatever it's called. No interest at all. Speech impediment. Chernobyl was amazing. It is one of the greatest shows I've ever watched that I never want to watch again. I don't even watch reactors watch Chernobyl. And I'm not bashing the show. The show was amazing. I'm glad I watched it. But I can't watch it again. The feeling I got in the pit of my belly watching that show was just too much. Knowing it was real and, this is kind of what happened. It's terrifying. She would not want to watch it, though, because she just doesn't care. It cannot hold her attention. She'd rather be reading a book. Yeah, House of Dragons. No interest. No interest at all. I used to make chicken pot pie. We'd all have our own little chicken pot pie. We'd eat it, and we'd make fresh made bread, and we'd do whole roasted chickens and carrots, and it was a whole thing every Sunday. And it all ended. It all ended in such a sour taste in our mouths. Yeah, right, a Jon Snow spinoff. Nobody cares anymore. You ruined Game of Thrones. People were teleporting all around the continent. Oh, and then Daenerys, she just went crazy for nothing. Like, I don't even want to get into Game of Thrones. You're going to get me pissed off talking about Game of Thrones. Hot mess is what that was. Yes, Chernobyl, horror, made incredibly well, acted incredibly well, deserved every award out there for TV shows. I never want to watch it again. Because it's not a fun show to watch. It's not a fun show to watch. It is intriguing and amazing and horrific, terrifying, and I never want to see it again. Never. Yeah, they did change some things. They always change some things, but the general basis of the show is 100% real. George is never finishing the books. Never. He got fame and money in his old age, and he is enjoying life. And you know what? I can respect that, George, if you would tell us the truth. Just tell us, hey, I'm never going to finish. I have everything I've ever wanted in my whole life right now, and I'm living it up. Just tell us that. All right, give us the respect of telling us the truth. We know you're never going to finish. Never seen Wild Cards. Is that a show or a book series? Probably a book series. I will watch, well, I have 2 patron tiers that let you pick what I watch. So I will watch anything you request on that tier. So I will watch shows like that. Now, otherwise, it'll have to be added to a poll and voted on. And if people voted on a show that did not fully end, I will watch it. There's a show I did called Rush. It's got the lead actor from Lucifer in it. That show was only like 9 or 10 episodes, and it didn't finish. It got canceled. So yes, I will watch shows that never fully lasted if my patrons want me to, and if people vote for me to watch it. I have no problem with that. Rush was actually a pretty darn good show and could have been really, really great if it wouldn't have been canceled. He had sex with his stepmom, and she got pregnant. That's crazy. I couldn't believe when he did. I was like, what are you doing? That's your stepmom. But he hated his father, so it makes sense, Very Shakespearean. Oh, Wokel, Amazon Tolkien series. Ooh, that's going to be a mess. I have no faith in that show. I'm probably going to watch the first episode. Whether I react to it or not, I don't know. I watched the Picard series, did not react to it. I just watched it and took notes. And I planned on doing a giant rant video on how much I hated it, but I just don't have the energy to do a long hate video yet. Do you know how much energy it will take to do a video on Picard? It's going to take a lot of energy because I have so much to say and so much hatred. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready for those kind of videos yet. They're coming one day, but not yet. And yeah, so I'm mentioning my Patreon. You don't have to sign up or anything. I don't care if you do or if you don't. I'm just saying the best way to get me to watch something is through Patreon, because that's where all of my polls are and everything. I do occasionally do polls on YouTube, so I might do a few more of those, and then maybe maybe when I do my next Patreon poll on what I watch next, I will also do a YouTube poll, and I will take the votes from both and decide on what I watch, because I want the YouTube viewers to have some say in what I do, because I appreciate you all. I appreciate every single one of you for watching, liking, subscribing. It keeps me going when I have very little time to do anything because of work and life. Just having people out there who like what I do, it keeps you going. The fans are what keep YouTubers going, because it ain't the money I make from YouTube, I'll tell you that. Yes, Lucifer was picked up, but not the show Rush, which is what I'm talking about. The guy that played Lucifer did a show called Rush that is only like 9 or 10 episodes. I've actually watched all of Lucifer. They're on my YouTube channel. All right, so Jan, the Vorlons. I don't overly trust them, but by the end of season 1, I trusted them a little bit more whenever Delene went to talk to Kosh and she had to see and he opened up and we heard wings. And so the fact that she saw a Vorlon outside of his armor and decided to go on with her metamorphosis makes me think they're a little more trustworthy. But like I said before, I think they are equivalent to space angels, whatever that means. Maybe some sort of alien race that is super advanced, might have visited Earth in the past and been angels because they have wings, something like that. I don't know. I do trust them, but I think they are playing their own game that we don't even know the rules for, and they're doing what they do for some sort of purpose we don't even fathom yet. So I do trust them, but I do not know exactly what they're up to. Tickle Trunk, Lucifer, the ending worked for me. It was not the ending I wanted. It's not the ending I would have done. But looking back over the whole season and the whole series as a whole, I was fine with how it ended. It could have been better, but it ended fine. It was not a Game of Thrones ending. I'll say that. Nerdrotic. I like Nerdrotic. I watch him from time to time. I think he and I agree heavily on the new Lord of the Rings series. I think he and I are simpatico. I think we see eye to eye on Lord of the Rings. So we'll just have to see. Deathwalker was a great episode. Deathwalker. Yeah, the Vorlons handled that like pros, and that's why Kosh is up here in S tier, because of that episode alone. Moved him from A tier to S tier. He blew that bitch up, didn't care. You're not ready for immortality. What are you going to do? I'm a Vorlon. What are you going to do to me? Nothing. Walked off like a G. The Boys. I have seen season 1 and season 2. I don't know if I have any reactions to The Boys. I think I might have watched those before I did my channel. I really can't remember. I have not seen season 3 though. Because once again, I want to watch season 3, but the curse of being a YouTube reactor is anything I want to watch, I kind of want to film, because it's kind of what I do. But that also means I can't just stay up all night and binge watch it one night. It is a conundrum for us reactors. You're right, Vocal. It'll take a ton of energy, my man. Yeah, and I did make a second channel called Mega Rants. I don't think it's linked. I will probably let me hold myself. I will probably link Mega Rants in this video whenever it gets on YouTube after it processes from the live. But that's my channel where I'm going to post my rant videos if I ever make them, which I haven't made really any yet. I have one Lucifer rant, but I also posted it on this channel, so it's not really a hardcore rant video. Jan, I think I answered the Vorlon thing. Let me know if I didn't. how I kind of feel about them. So, Mr. Tickletrunk, let me be honest with you on what got me to watch Babylon 5. I was watching Nerdrotic and Az from Hills vs. Babyface talk about Babylon 5. And I was like, they seem to really like it. They didn't really say what happened. They just said how much they liked it. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to watch Babylon 5. So you can actually thank Nerdrotic and Az for having me watch Babylon 5. Just hearing them talk about how much they enjoyed it and were liking it. So well, Jan, it's because I think they're playing their own game, and I think the advancement of the other races is tied to their long game. Maybe they want certain things to happen to benefit whatever their goal is. So even though they're concerned with their own affairs, that does not mean the evolution of the other races does not tie into their reasons. Does that make sense? So I think even though they only care about what they have going on, I think things the other races do can hinder that, like the other races getting immortality. So they do things to other races, but it all ties into their grand goal for the universe. Ooh, season 3 of The Boys is the best. Fantastic. Oh, so far this year. Okay. All right, well, Woko, there is a mega rant on this channel and mega rants, and it's about Lucifer. I had some things to say about the final season, mainly with Amenadiel. I just could not wrap my head around why this powerful angel thought the best way to help fight corruption and all is being a cop. Like, you can do so much more than being a beat cop. Like, you can do so much more good. And I won't go into that here. You can watch my video. And I caught a lot of slack for that. But by the time this show ended, they took my side because they did exactly what I said. All right. So whatever. I just didn't get it. Never seen the show Numbers. So I owe it to you two for pestering them. Well, then I say thank you. Because yeah, that's really what kind of got me into it, was just hearing them two talk about it. So Jan, I think a lot of things, and it changes from day to day, from hour to hour, from minute to minute. I think the Vorlons might know the past, the present, the future. They might know what happens, and they might be guiding humanity to that direction, and not just humanity, but the rest of the races. Or they might just, like you said, want to be a protector to help guide the other races to a better future. I don't really know exactly, but I do think they know more about what's going to happen than the other races. I think they have a glimpse into the future somehow, some way. And with that knowledge, they are guiding things that happen. Possibly. Yeah, they're kind of like forces of nature. All right, so all right, you're asking that to Mr. Tickle Trunk, not me. Good, because I was like, I'm really not sure what my favorite episode is. I would have to really have to look back. Lucifer had some great moments. It also had a lot of what I call filler episodes, especially Was it season 2 or season 3? The one with Kane in it. So many filler episodes. And it did not end the way I would have done it. But it ended fine. It ended fine for what it was. Tim Chandler, I don't know about Mass Effect show. Technically, didn't we kind of get that with Picard season 1? Technically, kind of. But I think it could be a great show. I just don't trust anyone to do it right. Because all modern sci-fi that I see is trash. It's all trash. I'm sorry. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. I cannot complain about the look of modern sci-fi. But modern sci-fi shows are all basically trash. I don't like any of them. So I don't trust them to do Mass Effect properly. All right, so Wokel, I think maybe the Psycorps developing that telepath who turned into energy and matter, I think maybe they let that happen. Maybe he is the birth of the Vorlons from the past. Maybe he spawns a whole race that becomes a Vorlon, which come back in time. See, you can go crazy with sci-fi theories. Maybe, because he turned into energy, and what do we see whenever the Vorlons open up? We don't know what they look like, but we see energy. Maybe there's a connection there. I don't know. Oh, 100% they could be evil. I mean, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. Maybe the Vorlons are really the shadow. Or maybe they're the same race. Two different coins, two different sides of the same race. One went evil, one went light. One went dark, one went light. I don't know. I'm only a season and a half in, and this is sci-fi. Sci-fi can go so many places. It's really hard to know. Dresden Files, never seen that one either. Yeah, Michael, I'm worried about the Babylon 5 reboot too. Psycor. Yes, it took me a while to get Psycor, not Psycorps. Why they put the PS on there, man? I even said the Marine Corps was a Marine Corps. I never said Marine Corps, But I don't use that word very often, so, it took a little bit of understanding. Modern sci-fi blows. Yes, sir, Mr. Sampson. Yeah, JMS running it is a good sign, but also, when people get older, they make decisions they probably wouldn't have made when they were younger. So I don't know. I will give it a shot, but I gotta finish Babylon 5, the OG series first. Get woke, go broke. That is a common saying on the internet, isn't it? Do I regret I didn't discover Babylon 5 earlier? No, because if I did, I would not be reacting to it on this channel and talking to all of you. So, the fact that I waited so long to watch it has introduced me to a great Babylon 5 community and people. So, it all worked out as planned. So, it works out. Plus, honestly, if I'd have watched this when it came out, it'd probably be all blurry because, like I said, my memory is not what it used to be. I just can't even remember many of the not Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine episodes I watched. And I watched those multiple times. So I am glad I discovered it later in life. I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser, hopefully a little bit wiser. And I get to talk with all of you. So Oh, I do love a good libertarian arc. Libertarian, liberation. I love them both. I love liberation and libertarian. Not a big fan of the government. Yeah, Wacko, I think with the new series, it's not going to be a reboot with the same characters. At least I wouldn't think so. That would be a terrible decision. I'm just a young pup. I might only be 42, but I have a soul of someone much, much older. I put a lot of miles on this body. A lot of miles. Wow, we are over 3 hours into this reaction. Now I'm not even talking about my tears anymore, but you can see the tear. That's all that matters. I'm having a good time talking. Okay, Michael, Connor. I have not seen Dark Matter, but Continuum I have seen, and I agree with you 100%. That show was amazing. I didn't quite end how I would have liked, and I think they might have ran out of money or they had a short season. Continuum, though, was great time travel. Great time travel sci-fi. 42 is the answer, isn't it? Babylon 5 score is great. Has kind of a synth wave tinge to it a lot of times. The stream shall end soon. I got to get ready in about 15 minutes. We're going to talk for about another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll call it a close. Feel free to leave early, though, if you want. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm sweating pretty hard, though. Whew. I'll take me a shower. Get this list here one more time. Make sure there's no... Yeah, I think I like everyone where they're at. Yeah. And I really love y'all just talking to each other in the chat. That's fantastic. Such a great community. You Babylon 5 people are great. All 20 of you currently in here. Yes, they were babes. Yes, they were babes in Continuum. Which, that show Rush that had the guy from Lucifer in it, he banged his stepmom, right? His stepmom played by the main character in Continuum. And I think I mentioned that whenever I watched the episode. I was like, it's a girl from Continuum. She is a babe, though. Well, thank you, Tickle Trunk. I'm glad I earned some points. Glad you were here, Chandler. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu should be fun. It's set in the 1920s, the current game I'm playing, so very cool. A lot of familiar names. I've seen that multiple times, so I'm guessing a lot of you are in a lot of the other Babylon 5 worlds. Tim Chandler, $3. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Makes me feel good about myself. A little positive reinforcement. I have not seen Battlestar Galactica 2005. I've never seen the original Battlestar Galactica either. I mean, I've seen some episodes when I was growing up. I just remember what did the robots, what were they called? Cylons? I remember what the Cylons looked like. The kind of shiny, metallic robots. I do remember that. That's about it, though. All right, folks, we are down to the last 5 minutes of the stream. Any last minute comments, questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. And by forever, I mean until my next video or my next live stream, or if you're on Patreon, then you can talk to me there. So it's not that long. The ending was meh. Well, you know, that happens. That happens. All show endings cannot be amazing, sadly. Don't know who any of those people are in SG1, but hopefully I will find out if it ever wins a poll and I start watching it. Numerania, I will look into that because I do love me some RPGs. Yeah, probably Dungeons and Dragons and White Wolf are the two worlds I'm most familiar with, and I've read thousands of White Wolf games, like years and years and years of being the DM. Honestly, I don't know what to expect with Babylon 5. I don't know where we're going to go with this show. I really don't. I mean, obviously, there's a great war coming because it says that in the opening. You know, this is the year of the Great War, or something like that. And we have the shadow race, culture, evil demon. I don't know what they are. So definitely, I see a great war coming, and hopefully, it'll unite the other races into fighting for the side of life. But in reality, I'm sure some of the races are going to side with the evil until it's too late. So other than expecting a great war, I really don't know. And as far as the visual effects go, I am watching the remastered version, so I think they're going to be better than they were when the show first came out. But I'm fine with the visual effects how they are. Like, it doesn't really bother me. But once again, I'm watching the remastered version. But as long as the acting and the plot's good, it doesn't matter what the FX look like, honestly. You can have terrible special effects if you have an entertaining show. And this show has that, so. Prediction for season 2. Now, I'm only 7 episodes in, or is it 8? I don't recall. I know there's a great war. Like I just said, there's a great war coming. I believe the war is going to happen this season because it talks about it. I think the Centauri are going to become a major opponent to the Earth Alliance and maybe the other races. I think the Centauri, I think Londo might make a move to take control of his planet, of his race, and bring back the great days of war and battle. And with the help of the Shadow, they will conquer many worlds and maybe regain some of their lost places. But other than that, I mean, that's really just kind of a broad possible. But in reality, I just don't know. I mean, once they got rid of Sinclair and Delene came out of her cocoon more human-like with hair, I really don't know. I don't know where we're going right now. Very nice, very nice. All right, final 1 minute. Bum, 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 bum. Tell you what, I'm taking a cold shower when I get out of here because I am a little hot. Thank you all for being here, though, for my live stream. It is so awesome to be able to talk to people about this show. I need to get me a co-host for Babylon 5 so I can talk. Hey, what's going on? When it's just me, I just get drawn in and just watch. Yeah, my starting reaction to season 2, I'm a little confused and not overly happy. But you'll get to see that whenever I post them. Because I miss Sinclair so much. He is my favorite character. And him not being in season 2 is such a shock. I'm still a little pissed when I think about it, to be honest. I'm not over it yet. Mr. Turkletrunk, you would have to live in my town, though. I need a live person. I don't want to do it over the internet. But, you know. You just stare at me and see what I say next? Okay. Well, in that case, you could be my co-host over the internet. You just look at me. It could be funny. Could be funny. Well, all right, everyone. I'm going to call this stream to a close. Thank you all for coming. If you haven't already, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Next Babylon 5 episode, season 2, episode 1 should be up in the next day or two, probably Monday or Tuesday. So that would be the June 27th or 28th. It should be up. Thank you all, and I will see you all next time. Good luck out there in this crazy